The Jaguars.
Sweet, and we're live, guys. We live, baby. Oh, I can see the chat. This is cool. Welcome, guys. All right, let's get it popping. You ready? And let's go.
What's poppin'?
Let's go.
Fan Spectrum, I see you. Let's go.
We're back at the ballpark, guys. Where is it at?
That's cool. We're gonna start off.
This is the only union that we're gonna bust. I'm a union, baby. Come on.
You're not serious. Come on. You're not serious.
I gotta stick with MJ.
Okay. Hey, you don't have to say it because I'm here now.
Okay, my boy Paul right here.
Hey,
they can figure it out.
Fan Spectrum, right here, right here.
What's going on, guys? We got a first ever live episode on YouTube. This is the Fan Spectrum. Let's get it, baby. We excited. We got some good stuff going on. For y'all that don't know us, I'm Romeo the Real Deal Montiel. We got my boy Manny in the building. We got my boy Double A in the building. We got my boy B in the building. Let's get it going. We are excited, man. We got a lot to talk about. Let's talk about the week, though. We gotta start about the week, man. I mean, I know this last couple of days have been crazy. I've been all USA out, you know, feel me? I've been having the USA game on. They tied with England, you feel me? I was excited. I am, you know, they just gotta beat Iran. And we're good.
That's gonna happen. That's happening.
Definitely gonna happen. It's definitely gonna happen. As far as, you know, how's your guys' week? How's your Thanksgiving? How'd it go?
Thanksgiving went well, man.
Yeah.
Ate good. I mean, you know, turkey was definitely overrated. You know, I do agree with that. I ate good. Nah, man, had some pasteles.
There you go.
Rice, you know,
there you go.
And my favorite, that holiday ham. You know,
oh,
the best time of year. Baby.
Hard as a motherfucker. That's how you do it. That's how you do it.
Boy, that
What about you, Double A? I know you made that special mac and cheese, boy. I had it, you know. Did you save us some or what? Is Bastuna or what?
Where's my plate?
Hold on, man. Let me tell you, mac and cheese stole the show. It stole the show.
It stole the show.
It was gooey. It was cheesy.
Mm-hmm.
You can't get any better than that, baby.
Okay. What about you, Manny? I know you have the tricks and trades of Thanksgiving. How'd that go for you, bro?
My boy, I had the turkey with a little bit of rice and a potato salad.
Woo!
That potato salad hit.
Plate number 2 had sabor rice with the patele and a little bit of ketchup. And let me tell you, that was fire.
Okay. I feel you.
He named 2 plates. I only have.
He did.
Bro, it was crazy. I never have that big of an appetite. It works the opposite for me. Like when I'm really hungry, I eat and then I'm full like really fast. So I only had 1 plate, and for me that was more than enough. I lied. Actually, I had like 1.5, because then my father-in-law threw in some turkey legs, and
Woo!
Boy, hand me one of them. Them things was.
No doubt. What else did y'all do for festivities? I got the tree up, as you can see. You know, we celebrating big things out here. We right to it. You feel me? We it's not even December, and we in December. Like that's how we do it out here.
Black Friday, you know.
Cyber Mondays today.
Just, you know,
yeah.
A lot of it was just shopping. You know, a lot of Christmas shopping for the most part,
and
watching these soccer games,
right,
and football. I mean, it's
great,
man.
Both footballs.
Football and football.
Oh, that's right.
Football and football.
Good.
No doubt, man. Well, you guys want to keep talking about some football? Let's talk about we got some big games coming on this week. You feel me? We got a lot to talk about, actually. But let's talk about this Patriots and Bills game we got going on. It's, you know, New England Patriots just lost against the Minnesota Vikings on a heartbreak game on Thanksgiving at that. And then the Buffalo Bills the Buffalo Bills won a close one on Thanksgiving against the Detroit Lions, man, and definitely excited to hear you guys' picks on this. I mean, Buffalo look like they struggling a bit, man. They're winning, but it ain't like, you know, it's not like they're that dominant team you once know of. How you guys feeling about it, man? Let's start off with you. Start with you, Manny. How you feeling about this game, bro?
I think the game overall is just gonna be a good, challenging game.
Okay.
It's kind of, you know, settling, but I wouldn't say even settling. I just say more struggling. This isn't the same Buffalo team we saw, you know, go with a shootout against the Kansas City Chiefs in the AFC title last year. So it's kind of scary to see how New England's up and rising and Buffalo's kind of declining. I do have the Buffalo Bills though winning this game, just seeing that overall they have the tools to win.
Mm-hmm.
So I got the Bills winning.
Ooh.
I got the Bills winning 28-14.
Okay.
Pats.
Okay, 28-14. That's a 2-touchdown lead, man. That's crazy. Let's move on to you, Brandon. Who you think's gonna win and why, bro?
I think it's Bills for sure to me. I think reality just the reason why they look like they're struggling is their defense, man. Their defense went from being top 7 to being almost like dominant team to like, well, what's going on with the Bills? It's just been the defense. Offensively, they're still pretty there. Yeah, Allen's had some tough games, but I think it's because he was so comfortable having a defense kind of hold it down. He could make the sloppy plays and kind of force some things, but he'll clean it up. Lions a great team. They're a team that's on an up and up. To me, they're a team that's just missing a QB to make it to that next step. But with that being said, I do have Bills. I don't think Mac Jones and the Patriots do enough. So
really?
That being said, I say I really don't. I'm gonna say it's about the same 28-14, 28-17, something along those lines.
Okay, all right, that's interesting. I can see that. We got a little closeness there with the scores. How about you, Double A? I know you're not really a big fan of these Bills, and I know it's a close race over there. I gotta know who you think is gonna definitely win this game out there, bro. My bad.
But I'm liking the Bills in this game. They're just a better team overall. I said it before. Mac Jones he's not really that good. Yeah, he threw for like 300 some yards against the Vikings, but the Vikings got probably I think they're one of the worst defenses in the league. You know what I mean? So when you have Mac Jones and that offensive lineman that Patriots they don't have, like what's his name, Wins is out.
Mm-hmm.
I think Buffalo defense is going to dominate. Josh Allen's probably going to throw for like 4 tutties. They really do need to establish the running game. If they can establish the running game in this game, they will definitely trounce the Patriots. So I'll give them like 28-7.
Wow. Okay, I see you. That's coming from a Jets fan. That's interesting, bro. I never thought I'd hear the day of that. So for me, guys, man, I'm gonna be honest, bro. I personally think I'm gonna go ahead and say it. I think Josh Allen's overrated. I think that man is overrated. I don't think he's what people say, an MVP caliber player, and I'll show you why. I got some statistics here. Josh Allen's been throwing some interceptions out here. That's his pass yards, but let me show you his interception ratio. He's got the highest amount of interceptions. He's got 11, bro, and it's kind of crazy to see that. I feel like he's struggling when it comes down to the wire. Granted, he is second on the list of pass yards, but I think that as far as the game goes, I'm going to call it an upset. I think the Patriots are going to win, bro. I'm kind of excited to see, the Patriots kind of, they battled it out with the Vikings. I think that, it was a great game. I think Mac Jones threw for 383 yards. And, I could just definitely see that upset just kind of going crazy with it. It's our first upset alert on the live show, and I'm going to call it, bro. I think that defense is going to have a hard time with Judon just kind of going crazy. And, Mac Jones is going to keep showing out, bro. He knows it's a close game. He knows, he's got a lot to still show for. He's battling against these other quarterbacks. So that's why for me, bro, I think it's going to be a biggest upset, and the Patriots are going to win. Yeah. Do you guys think?
I think to say that he's overrated is kind of cap.
Bro.
I don't think he's overrated. I don't think he's underrated. I think he's perfectly rated.
But what does perfectly rated mean though? Because I mean, everyone's talking about
a top 5 QB.
He's not even okay, but he's not even the best quarterback in his division. He's not. The best quarterback statistically right now is Tua. He has less interceptions. He's had right now. He has. We're talking about right now, currently. Who's better? As far.
Let me tell you something. Josh Allen's play style is different. He's a gunslinger, so being a gunslinger.
But he's throwing interceptions, so obviously the mistakes are taking over.
You're picking Tua off of 1 year. You wasn't on no Tua.
Tua. When did? Okay. Well, but where was Josh Allen at? Where was Josh Allen at year 2? He was struggling, right? And then he picked it up when he got Stephon Diggs, and he got okay. And in essence, if you compare the two, was doing better. He has less interceptions. He's going, dude. He's giving Tyreek Hill a chance to break the record for receiving yards and ever by a receiver. Anybody could, but is Stephon Diggs or Gabe Davis doing it? Nah. And he has plenty of weapons to do it with. All right, and on top of it, Tua has. No, I'm just speaking facts. I'm ready. I'm hyped. It's live. Let's go. It's live. Let's go.
Put some dirt on Josh Allen's name. First off, don't be disrespectful, because at the end of the day, guess who's talking? They talk about every year, all the time. They talk about Josh Allen. Just because Tua having 1 year don't mean he the GOAT now. All of a sudden, all right.
I ain't say he the GOAT now. I ain't.
Josh Allen, okay.
I'd say he's the GOAT.
You say
Josh
that
Allen
it's his
talk about
division.
Statistics, and you gonna say I'm gonna
If
choose.
you out here,
You say that he's better than Josh Allen. That's a little-
I'm saying statistically. I'm saying statistically, bro. The Josh Allen's throwing more interceptions than Kirk Cousins. He's throwing more than Davis Mills. Shoot, he's throwing more than Aaron Rodgers.
I told you, but you gotta understand. Go ahead, Aaron.
Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. Look, check this out. Yeah, he's done that, but let me tell you something. He beat Pat Mahomes this year. He beat Baltimore, and he beat Tennessee. Those are
okay. And who is Tua beating? He beat the Bills. He beat the Bills. That's all you gotta care. At the end of the day, oh my God.
Did the Bills really lose, and the Bills lost?
Yeah, because of what? Why did he lose? Because what?
They cut the water supply. That's
No, because he threw that last-second interception. At the end of the day, he caused some mistakes. He loses the games. Does that make him an MVP, or is that the problem of the team? That's all I'm saying.
I'm gonna let you finish, 'cause you like to get your word out again.
I'm just saying.
Mr. Right, Mr. All Night.
Hey, I'm just saying. In my mind, I don't think. Don't get me wrong. Josh Allen's a great quarterback. He's great. But I think he's overrated. I think as far as MVP contention, I don't think he should be in it. I don't think he is an MVP type caliber. Not Tua. Not Tua. No, I think there's other quarterbacks that are way better. Tua's quarterback rating is way better. I will say that.
That's a different conversation, because if you're talking about MVP, yes, he's not an MVP this year statistically.
Okay.
But if you're talking about the player overall, he's way better than Tua and all those guys. He's probably the second best to Patty Mahomes.
The MVP talking quarterbacks is Lamar Jackson. Who out of anybody is going to compete with Lamar Jackson? And Lamar Jackson's losing games statistically. You know,
Hey,
like, come on. It's just,
Lamar
I mean,
Jackson,
I think, I don't know.
Jaguars. He can't be in the conversation.
That's what I'm saying, bro. Is it at the game? At the end of the day, is it the? So when you guys look at a quarterback, is it the wins that make the quarterback or the stats? Because Geno Smith, what's up?
To me, it's like an impact on like those drives, those late game drives, right? Which he has had some trouble with, but like he has also done great. He's like been 50-50 this year, but like a balance of everything. Yeah, stats, wins. The most impactful on a team. Can you replace him and put somebody else in, and would they have the same amount of wins? That's how I see a quarterback being MVP, right? So, if you put Josh Allen in Miami, would he be just as great as if you were to put Tua in Buffalo? Like those are the things to me where I'm like, that's what makes the difference. So like, can you put Mahomes in Miami with those weapons? You could put anybody in Miami with those weapons, and they would do great. That's how I see it. You know what I'm saying? Which then at like,
well then, can you explain the turnovers then?
The turnovers is a turnover. No, like that being said, that's part of the game. Like, and again, I feel like the real reason why he has them is because he has such a great when you have a great defense.
Yeah.
Right? And I think this is how every QB is. You can take the risk, and I think coaches think that way too. they can take the risk on being like, well, let's throw out a pass play, even if it's 4th and something or whatever, because you know what? We have a D that can come on the field 4 and out, but we're back out there. So when you have that defense, you can take more risks because you're coming back, and I think that's what we haven't seen from the defense. That's why a lot of these games have been a lot closer because they're expecting the D to be 4 and out, and they haven't been. They haven't been the same D since week 1 through 4, 1 through 5. They haven't been that same D. So because of that, that's why it looks like Josh Allen is struggling. But if this was week 1, week 2, these would be the same turnovers. And if they were winning 43-3, 38-2, whatever the score was, you would be like, oh, the Bills are dominant and Josh Allen's working, even though he went 3 tutties, 1 and 0. You know what I'm saying? But now it's 3 tutties, 1 and 0, and it's 35-28 or 34-31. That's not his fault because the defense is giving up tutties. You know what I'm saying? So that's why it's just easy. It's easy. It's like it's the same controversy when you go QB versus QB. You can't say QB versus QB because there's defenses on both sides of the ball, right? So even though they say Tua versus him, you can it's hard because at the end of the day, the defenses have to make the stops. Yes, that one turnover can change everything, but if the defense isn't making the stops, then that hurts everything too. So it's a hand-in-hand game. It's double-edged sword.
I like it.
Personally, I feel like if we're gonna talk about overrated quarterbacks, I feel like Tua being a left-handed quarterback, he got really hyped to come into the league and be real dominant, and it just shows. Even with the weapons he's had as additions, I personally think I'm not gonna say he's overrated because I mean I don't know. Every quarterback is their own entity when it comes down to the style in which they could run an offense in the organization that they play in.
Mm-hmm.
Because Tua's not a Patty Mahomes, and Patty Mahomes is not a Lamar Jackson, and a Lamar Jackson is not a Josh Allen, and a Josh Allen is not a TB12. Like everyone is a distinction. They're distinct differently in their QB positions just based off of what there are as far as a threat. And yeah, I mean, you could say statistically, that it's been, I personally think, for the top 5 quarterbacks in the league, statistically, none of them should be in the MVP talk, if that counts as far as, completions to attempts, interception, turnovers, and or wins or losses. Because, I mean, the only one that shows to be the top quarterback in the league right now and who's still dominating is Jalen Hurts. They're still winning ball games.
And he's not turning the ball over.
He's not right. He's not turning the ball over.
Yeah.
His defense is doing a phenomenal job sticking to their part of the game, allowing them to be successful, not giving up many points, and and rushing yards and things like that. So that's why I feel like statistics are a little overrated when it comes down to comparing one another. Don't get me wrong, it is a little over the half season mark.
Yeah.
So yes, it's real crucial to say who is where they at.
Yeah.
I don't know. I take it offensive that you call Josh Allen overrated.
That's fine.
Because
That's
fine.
His
His
backstory's great. I will,
right.
It is.
And to come into the league and be as dominant, and be a hard worker, because that's just where it comes down to. He could be very much a slacker and rely kind of on his talent and blame his 1 and number 2 in the wide receiver core, who are one of them are definitely a top 5, if not top 3 receiver in the league, just based off, because, and I say more based off of the name and his notice of being such an effective wide receiver. But,
look at the wide receiving core he has, right? Stephon Diggs, yes. We're not saying that he doesn't have a weak wide receiving core, but they're more relevant. McKenzie, Davis, Knox, these are guys where any other team, they're probably disappearing, because they don't have an elite quarterback like Josh Allen. So that's how I see it. You have to look at it from that, like what's McKenzie's impact? What's Davis?
We got a subscriber, guys. We got another subscriber. Yeah. I want to reach. Just let you know.
Yeah, for sure, man. We appreciate
welcome
that.
To the fan spectrum, baby.
Welcome to the family. Welcome to the family.
but continue.
I think that's the biggest thing. I think that's how you got to look at it too. Like, look at the weapons around him. Look at how he's enhanced them, and look at how they worked hand in hand, right? Because it's a lot on them too. But you're looking at Josh Allen, and you're like, cool. Can you put anybody else in this any other QB in this offense, right? And
Mm-hmm.
who can be as successful with the
Right.
weapons? If it was anybody else, you might be like, oh, they're just gonna work with Stephon
Well,
Diggs 'cause
okay.
that's the security blanket.
Let me say this. I mean, you know, you guys say weapons make. In essence, you're saying weapons make the quarterback, right? So
It helps. And no, it doesn't necessarily make the quarterback, but it helps to have weapons. You know, it does definitely make a difference when you know you're throwing to as a 9-time Pro Bowler versus somebody that just got drafted in the league or is a 1-year, 2-year guy that's
because
been the third, fourth string guy of
yeah,
the team.
no, because the only reason I bring that up is because you look at Jimmy G. That guy's winning games no matter what, but he's not an MVP race. And I don't understand that. At the end of the day, why is that the case? Why isn't Jimmy G in this conversation? Geno Smith's not in this conversation. And that's why, for me, it's like I look at it where, who's turning the ball over? Who's messing up when it comes down to it? And that's why I think Josh Allen, at the end of the day, granted, he's a great quarterback. He's gonna have touchdowns. He's gonna have his yardage, but he turns the ball over. I can't, in essence, see that as someone that's at perfect well-being of the most valuable player. That's all I'm saying.
So my thing is when you compare him, right? Geno is a good argument. I think Geno should be in it, point blank. He's had a great year, tremendous year. Had some bad games, yeah, right? But it shouldn't define him. It's the same way we talk about Josh Allen. Had bad games, but it shouldn't take him out of the conversation. Same way for Geno. Had a bad game or two, but he's still chucking it to Tyler Lockett. He looks incredible.
Mm-hmm.
So I agree. I think Geno definitely should be in that. But when you have for me, what I look for from Jimmy G, he's inconsistent. And that's the problem. He's had great years, but he's had bad years. Or he's great now, but he's bad in the playoffs. Or because of the
The guy, I will say that guy. I saw a statistic actually. He has in his amount of games playing, he is tied with Joe Montana, I believe, and then has more wins than Steve Young, or vice versa, as far as Niners quarterbacks, which shocked me. But yeah, he has just the amount of wins as that. So he's a winning guy.
He's had great defenses around him as well. Like that's a big thing.
Here's the thing with Jimmy Garoppolo, and I'm gonna tie this back to Josh Allen.
Go ahead.
Yeah, Jimmy Garoppolo has won a lot of games, but can you name a game? Can you think of a game where you can say, "Wow, Jimmy won that game. It was because of Jimmy."
Yes,
no,
sir.
It was
Very true.
Defense is always because of the running game or the offensive game plan by Mac Shanahan or whoever was the staff before him. It was always somebody else. Jimmy G is a great game manager. You know what I mean? He's not flashy, but he will not turn over the ball. He can run the offense and get you to a Super Bowl. Josh Allen, he is just a complete great athlete. He can use his legs.
Mm-hmm.
He believes his arm. He believes he can make the throws. This is why Josh Allen is a great quarterback, because he got talent around him, but he makes those guys even better. Like Stephon Diggs with the Vikings. What was Stephon Diggs before Josh Allen? He was a pretty good receiver, but he's not posting up.
He was decent on the Vikings. I mean, granted, I will say he got.
But there's a reason Diggs won it out, because he wanted to play with a better quarterback, and that Josh Allen. Look what they're doing together. They're breaking records. They're winning games. You know what I mean? So Josh Allen is, like I said before, he's a gunslinger, like those Brett Favre's, like guys with the arms that believe that can make any throws.
What?
They'll take any risk.
Okay.
And
why aren't these? So we say Josh Allen's dominant. Why? And I feel like NFC or AFC East is definitely. No. I'm not going to interceptions. This is a good argument. Let's hear me out. You say AFC East. I would say AFC East is a weaker division than the NFC East. Do we agree on that?
No.
I disagree.
I mean, record-wise, it says it. Does it not?
Right now, this season can make an argument for that. Let's say this season can make an argument, but usually the NFC East is always teams that are 4-6 and they're making the
fair enough. But in my case, all I'm saying is that if we say Josh Allen is as dominant as he is, how come he wasn't on pace to be undefeated in that division? That's what I'm saying. Jalen Hurts doing what he did with the Eagles in the NFC East and being on an undefeated streak in that division on top of it is pretty impressive. Why couldn't Josh Allen do the same thing with the same amount of weapons?
Jalen Hurts, he lost to the Commanders. That's number one.
No, yeah, that's fair, but
he hasn't even faced the Giants yet.
Dude, they have a weaker schedule.
And another game against Commanders. Buffalo, they're surprised with the New York Jets got really way better. The Miami Dolphins offense is pretty much unstoppable, and then Patriots, you got Belichick. You know what I mean? Not only that, the NFC is pretty much it's the weaker conference. It's not like the AFC. Yeah, the AFC West is kind of taking a fall, but that AFC conference is still like.
Dude, they played
really
weaker. They had a weaker schedule, man. Like
I was just gonna say, strength
really has a
is
weaker
schedule.
schedule. Look at the strength. Like besides the Vikings, who they beat 24-7, they play the Jags, they play the Commanders, they play the Cardinals, the Cowboys, great defense, Steelers, Texans, Commanders, Colts, Packers have not been the Packers of old. Like they have a weak schedule. Tell me a team that they're playing that this is gonna be a playoff team besides like we've seen the Cowboys,
Commanders.
like, the Commander. No, like
I'm just saying.
saying that.
No,
Like,
no. I mean that's a playoff team.
Commanders, yeah, no. Like the fact that you have a head coach that doesn't believe in the quarterback, and then now he wants Heineke. Now Heineke's the quarterback.
They're winning
Like, everybody
games.
knew Tyler should have been the quarterback from the beginning of the season. Nah, like you can't. To me, no. Like they have the weaker schedule, man. Like that's point blank. Period. Like the fact that Buffalo's seen Kansas City more than once already, like that's the difference right there. Like Philly ain't seen that. Philly ain't seen Kansas City twice a week, like twice in 1 month. They're not seeing them.
Nah, they haven't taken a trip down to Miami yet.
Yeah, dude, you said it before. AFC is the tougher division. So,
Yeah.
That makes the difference in itself. When you have an easier schedule, of course you're gonna win. Of course you can go on a hot streak. But like, bro, who they play next?
They play the Colts. We're actually gonna. No. That's the Cowboys. They play. Yeah. Titans. I'm gonna get to that. We'll get to that. I got a big discussion on that too now. But no, the only reason why I brought up Josh Allen not being like MVP caliber is just because of his turnovers. And I was just curious how y'all thought about that, because that's something people don't really talk about. He's got the most interceptions in the league right now, and I was just curious how you guys felt about that.
But, well, who's the next person behind him? Like, what's the difference?
It's Davis Mills is tied with them, and then so they both have 11, and then 9 is Kirk Cousins, and I believe 8 is like I think 8 is, I forgot what 8 was. Actually, I have it right here. Pull it up.
Mills is actually, it has Mills 1 on the list I'm looking at, but they have Allen. Him and Mills are.
Yeah, it's Mills, Cousins, and then Matt Ryan, who was out for I don't know how many games.
You got Mahomes at 8.
Yeah.
Who's MVP?
Who the Bills
Lamar.
beat?
But I'm just saying, it was just interesting. You got Matt Ryan, who was out of game 2, and he's on that list.
The biggest thing is like what doesn't help is that his interceptions were key ones. Because his defense hasn't been the defense they were beginning of the year.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's the difference of 2 or 3 stops from a defense from the Bills side that make it a win.
Mm-hmm.
And he's put in positions where if he's gonna be an MVP, he shouldn't have those. Of course, I totally agree. But he's put in positions where he has to make the plays because whether it's bad calls on the offensive line side where they're getting holdings, false starts, things like that's putting them in bad positioning where they're 3rd and 10, 3rd and 17, 4th and this with 20, 30 seconds to go. He's got to try to pick that first down. He's going to throw downfield. Like he's going to force it where it doesn't make sense. And that's going to happen. Like it has to happen that way. I mean, like we saw it last playoffs where it was him and Mahomes, and that offense, he brought him downfield, scored a tutty. All the Bills defense had to do was do one stop. 1 4 and out, get out, done. Like and they couldn't do that, and they lost because of that. So, to me, he's proven himself that he's an MVP. He's not underrated. He's not overrated. He's perfectly rated. And yeah, that's where I'm at, and I'm pretty sure everybody else agrees with me.
All right, fair enough. Let's keep it going, guys. That was a good discussion. Let's talk about the Sunday night football game, which is going to be a good one. It's between the Dallas Cowboys and the Indianapolis Colts. Cowboys looking like they're back at it with their win over on Thanksgiving, and then the Colts are playing right now, actually, as we speak. So I don't know how their outcome's going to be, but. Let's just get into it, man. I want to start off with you, B. How you feeling about this game, and who do you think's gonna win?
I got Cowboys, man. To me, I think this is a no-brainer. Dak looks good on certain games. He looked really good on Thanksgiving. With him and CD looked really nice together. That offensive running game looked pretty good. Zeke had some good carries, and so did Pollard. But I think it comes down to the passing game. And it comes down to Dak, and I think, I just think the Colts don't have that right now. Their secondary, their D line, they're missing some key players on that defensive side, and I think because they can't get anything going offensively, it's just gonna be like even if Dak were to go 3 and out or throw a pick, that other side's gonna go 3 and out. I do have Cowboys. Man, I can see this being a blowout. I can see this being like 31-10.
Wow, Dallas.
That defense just. I mean, Micah Parsons, bro. I mean, he brings something to that D line that's something serious. And if he gets past your tackle, that's it. You ain't stopping him, bro. So
I feel you on that.
Yeah, I got Cowboys in a blowout, 31-10.
All right. What about you, Double A? How you feeling about this game? Give me one moment though. Hold on one sec. Hold on one sec. All right, Aaron, go ahead, bro. Explain to me why you think the Cowboys or Colts are going to win this game.
Better team here. Colts, they're a little bit of a mess. I know they got some juice now with Saturday turning things around, making them a little bit more competitive. The Colts do have a great defense. I just looked it up. They have like the number 4 ranked defense, but I don't think it'll be enough because the Colts offensive line is just a mess, man. They have communication issues, and Matt Ryan back there, once he gets pressured and direct,
old Matt Ryan.
he would throw some picks. He would throw some pick six, and Cowboys got their number 1 in sacks. So Micah Parsons, he's gonna be running wild on on the Colts, man.
Yeah.
I don't think it's gonna be. I want to say it's gonna be competitive, but it might be competitive all the way up until the third quarter, where the Cowboys run away with it. I'll say Cowboys win 24-7, and look for Michael Parsons probably scoring like a fumble touchdown, put in the fourth quarter.
All right, man. That's definitely a vibe there. I mean, Cowboys, everyone that was on that Cowboys train, I feel like it's kind of, granted, I know Stephen A. Smith on it, but, everyone's kind of vibing with the Cowboys lately. I know they're a hot team, and it's kind of cool to see them relevant. And, I definitely want to see Dak kind of be successful. But let's go to you, Manny. How you thinking about the Cowboys and Colts game?
I think Dallas has got it. They got it in the bag. I personally, all I plan to see is Thanksgiving Part 2 with Elliott.
Just eat it up.
First down after first down, baby. Dallas is strong. They're picking it back up. The confidence is back again, as well as they got their number 1 quarterback back. So I don't see why they shouldn't blow out Indianapolis. They're still trying to figure things out, but right now Dallas ain't got time for that. I got Buffalo winning 35-7.
Buffalo.
I'm sorry, not Buffalo. Dallas winning 35-7.
He's still hurt. You still hurt off the Josh Allen thing, bro. I'm sorry, man. I didn't mean to get on that. That's cool, man. All right, bro. And let's go to you, B. How do you feeling about this game, and who you think's gonna win, bro?
We talk about Dallas, right? Hey,
we're talking about them Cowboys.
Talk about them Cowboys.
Them Cowboys.
31-10, man.
30.
I mean, just ain't nothing happening from that other side of that ball. So ain't nothing about Indianapolis that can convince me that they're gonna win. Like, I mean, there's really none. They ain't got no offensive scheme. They don't know what they want. They don't know. This is something that has for Indianapolis figure out, they're gonna need an off season to do so.
Really?
Because they ain't nowhere.
You said offensive scheme like Jonathan Taylor hasn't been turning up lately. You don't think Jonathan Taylor?
That's it.
You don't think he's gonna turn up, bro? I mean, come on now. He's
I think that's not an offensive scheme. Just handing your ball to your running back. That's not offensive scheme. Like, cool,
okay,
you can run the ball, but like, what else? Like, then that's all they gotta do is stop the run. What else are they gonna do?
I feel you.
Action, but like. Because Matt Ryan ain't gonna be that guy.
He's he
needs
where
he was MVP talks Ryan.
Yeah.
So I don't think they got anything that can change anybody's mind that they're gonna go out there and win. We all know it's Cowboys. How about them Cowboys?
Man, you really about them Cowboys too, huh? I see everybody's vibing with the Cowboys, bro. They've been dominant all year. I'm gonna go with Cowboys too, bro. I think Cowboys are gonna win. I like their defense. We all say defense wins championships. Dak Prescott's looking mighty comfortable again. You know, Ezekiel Elliott, Tony Pollard taking off. So I'm excited, to see them Cowboys kind of keep going, bro. Which goes to my next question, man. Do you guys think the Cowboys are gonna choke this year as usual, or do you guys think this is it? Let's start off with you, Double A.
Man, I love to see them. I'm like Stephen A. I like to see them choke. Because people always pick on the Jets, and it's fun to pick on the Cowboys for a change,
Yeah.
But man, it's just really hard because they actually look legit, man. That defense, and I don't know, man. That defense and Dak Prescott's back. All he has to do is just not turn over the ball. The running game is there. They got a good offensive lineman. I mean, they could go deep in the playoffs. I don't know if they might choke this year, but I'll say they'll go all the way to like the NFC Championship game.
Okay.
Probably lose the Niners, but
that's what I have. Yeah, that's funny.
They got a really good team.
Mm-hmm. No doubt. I do agree, man. I think that's where I have the Cowboys going. I have them going against the Niners in the NFC Championship game. I have them losing though in that game just because I think there's just way too much. What's it called? I think they have too many weapons on the Niners for the Cowboys to keep up with. I mean, granted, Micah Parsons is a beast, Lawrence is a beast, Van Der Esch is a beast out there. But at the end of the day, you gotta stop McCaffrey, Debo, George Kittle, Ayuk. Like, it's a lot of running, bro. I don't know if it's gonna be able to handle that. But I feel like it's a good outlook because they always get knocked out first round. But I think they're gonna go further this year. I definitely feel like they're gonna go further this year. I feel like they're more confident. They know what they're made of. I mean, they've always been at that first round and get knocked out. But I feel like them beating these decent teams, I think they're gonna keep going, and they're in a tough division. So I mean, I'm excited to see that. What about you, Manny? How are you feeling about it?
I would love to see Dallas go further than they've been in a playoff run. I personally don't think I've seen them pass the wild card. If I'm mistaken correctly, but I don't know. I just think I would just love for a healthy Dak to come and dominate. I don't think he's had a chance to. I feel like he himself has he's just kind of had this aura of bad injuries that literally just knocked Dallas completely off stride once their captain goes down. And I do believe that Dak is their captain. I think as long as he stays healthy and they could implement that run first, pass later, be able to fool these defenses, I feel like that would be a great showdown as an NFC title between the 49ers and Dallas. It'll kind of bring back some old flair from like the 80s and 90s.
Oh yeah,
how they used to be at each other's necks,
freaking just going crazy with it. No, yeah.
Oh yeah, man. So I think if as long as they stay healthy, even on the defensive side, if they can stay healthy, I think they got a really good shot at making it far this year. I don't know about Super Bowl winning, but I personally
they have a shot. Yeah.
They could disrupt
They
some
do.
dreams for
They do.
on the NFC side if they could come in hot.
I-
Stay hot.
I mean,
Go ahead,
to
go ahead,
me,
B.
This is their best chance. I don't think there's any other best win though. Every team kind of is bad right now. If they don't see Philly, they can make it far. That's really. But at the end of the day, it comes down to Dak, bro. I think it comes down. Everybody knows it comes down to him. He is kind of like where we all talk about Kirk Cousins, where he'll make that one turnover at the worst.
Man, you won't
time.
compare him to Kirk
That's-
Cousins, bro? Wow.
That's how Dak is at certain times.
Wow.
I'm not comparing him as a player in terms of offense. I think Dak is better. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying in terms of sometimes they just make the bonehead move where it's like, why?
Yeah.
Why force that? Why try to make that pass when you can throw it, when you can run out the pocket and throw it out of bounds? Why not just tuck it and keep it? Sometimes Dak will try to force that play, and it's like no, and then you know it's that.
Well, it's like
an
it's
overthrow or
like
something
it's
that.
like how they got eliminated last year, bro. Like they make stupid plays by not, the clock's running, spike that ball. Like, what are you doing,
Yeah,
bro?
exactly.
And
That's
I,
literally what it is.
but personally, I think that's McCarthy. I don't think that's on Dak. I think McCarthy is the problem.
No, but then again, too, if you have a QB, right, that's been in the league as long as, Dak, he should also be high IQ enough to make the right plays. Like,
Fair
to
enough.
Be like, okay, hey, I have to check my clock. It happens with every coach. Every coach wants a QB, though, that can be like, hey, you're not, if I'm missing something,
Mhm.
do it, right?
Mhm.
Like, take care of it. And that's where I think, like, that's, if Dak's not doing it, then that's on him. And that's what hurts him. It's just the idea.
It
like,
is.
where it's like, make the smart play.
Well,
Like, make the smart, don't
It
force
still
it, and that's what hurts him.
it still seems like he's growing up, but it's like, bro, you're at the point where, bro, you need to make your
Growing
own.
up, and this is season 8, bro.
Right,
Why are you
right.
still growing
There's
up?
there's guys like Mahomes that'll lead it. Hurts, you can kind of see he's still growing, but Hurts is kind of like, hey, we got to get out. He gets the guys going.
It's understandable for like Justin Fields to still be going through growing pains. Zach Wilson, Trevor Lawrence, these young guys like that. But all these dominant QBs, Mahomes, Allen, Lamar is still kind of growing, but a little bit.
I don't know.
Even
Yeah.
Joe Burrow's pretty assertive at being the younger. It's that. It's like
Mhm.
we shouldn't be. There shouldn't be a.
Shouldn't be holding your
conversation,
hand,
is
bro.
Dak the guy? Yeah. Like,
Right.
We shouldn't be doing. Is Dak the guy still? Like that. That should be an over conversation.
Yeah.
He is or he isn't.
I think it's because of those injury. It's his injury that really messed him up. Because it's like he got, and it was right at the peak. Right at the peak,
Yeah.
we saw Dak
He
get
had a
hurt.
good
Right.
Season last year, and he got hurt. So like.
And
he's
everyone
on turn.
and everyone wants him to be back at that, and it's like, well, dude, that was a crazy injury at the peak of the season. On top of it, and it's like, dude, I mean, mentally, it's where it comes down to, and I don't know if that's if he's mentally stable for it. But there is a guy that could help them out that's been in the talks and been in rumors about going to the Cowboys. I mean, granted, he just got he freaking passed out yesterday, but let's talk about him. He got kicked off a plane, bro. That's what happens when you fly to LA, bro. You get a little too, He probably did, bro.
No, that's true.
That's what happened? No way.
He had hid lick in his 5-hour energy instead of actual 5-hour energy, and then poured it into his juice.
Oh my
And
gosh.
then got fucked up. And then next thing you know, he out here like probably off the shits, drunk already, and had the nerve to be like, the audacity. How dare you kick me off this plane?
Well, for those that don't know, we're talking about the good old OBJ. OBJ looking out good in this Cowboys jersey. I mean, a lot of people, would definitely love to see, a lot of Cowboys fans would love to see him. I personally, I don't know. Let's talk about it. How would you guys feel about OBJ being a Dallas Cowboy? Start out with you.
Like it.
You like it, B?
I like it. I would like it only because he brings a little swag, right? He always brings the swagger to his team. So I could already see him with the one sleeve, the chromed out, visor. Like, we all wanted to be that, bro. Like, don't lie. Everyone
Gonna be swagged out, freaking throwing it up, throwing all that.
I don't need to be that. My guy I Madden is OBJ.
Yeah, but like exactly, we out here rocking the top.
Right, and them Cowboys unis be nice. With the white, shout out Johnny with the white and the blue.
Right.
Sheesh. and the white helmets. I'm like, okay, and I can see OBJ with the visor, like going crazy with it. And I will say, man, he impressed me with the Rams. I will say he definitely brought that next. Obviously another weapon for Matt Stafford, but he brought that energy. He played with emotion, and I think that's great. That's what Dallas needs. They have a lot of emotion there, and to have another guy that's been there and succeeded with the emotion would be great to have for Dallas Cowboys. That's personally why I think he'd be great for the Cowboys. I feel like Dak would be with CeeDee Lamb. You got Gallup and OBJ with the two beasts in the backfield, bro. And you got like 3 tight ends. Like the dude the other day hopping over like nothing. Just out on Thanksgiving on top. Like, dude, that's dangerous. And that defense, like that's the best. That's the best fit. And he seems hype when he tweets about it. And that's why I feel like OBJ would be really good with the Cowboys. What about you, Double A? How you feeling about OBJ going to the Cowboys? Possibly.
Man, I love OBJ, but damn, why the Cowboys, man?
Really?
But the thing is, I even though if he joins the Cowboys, I don't see him doing anything as much. Man, this guy's coming off a really serious injury. I don't know when's the last time he's had contact since the Super Bowl.
Facts.
You know what I mean?
True.
So, I mean, if they expect OBJ to come in there to be OBJ, then you got to. You're smoking something because
they about to OB pray because it's not happening.
He gonna be passing out. He gonna be passing out like he did on the plane the first day he get them pass, boy.
You know what I mean? Like now, it sounds nice. I mean, if they could get the old OBJ back in that lineup with CeeDee Lamb and Tony Pollard and Elliott and Dak. This offense can have a little bit more juice, but I don't expect OBJ to come in there to get 8 catches for 141 yards, you know what I mean, and score 3 tutties, you know what I mean?
They're going to work him in slow.
Yeah, he still has to, he still got to get in football shape.
Yeah.
He may be in physical shape, but is he really in football shape? He hasn't had any contact, nothing.
But he really
don't understand the move.
He really going around these teams looking like he like going to college, bro. He's trying to really figure out where he's trying to bro. The luxury, like for real, like to just be like, bro, I want to like just play here, pay me this, like, bro, like that's the dream right there.
Knows? He may be having secret workouts with all these teams,
right?
Just traveling to the team, and because they want to see if can you hang right now because you haven't really ran, you're not fit. We don't know if you're physically fit. You look good, but we don't know if you're physically fit.
Right.
Run. Go out there and play 2 quarters. And that's the biggest thing is anytime you bring a player off an injury like that, every doctor is going to be like cautious where they're going to be like, he can't play full game. And a lot of these teams need the wide receiver to play every down. And especially if the biggest part, it's the contract. I'm pretty sure a big part of it is contract talk because he probably wants to get paid. And they're like, a lot of teams are like, well, we know you're OBJ, but you're coming off an injury, and bringing you in may not be the impact that we need. Like, it's not going to give the impact that we need right away. I need you to come in and play now. I don't need you to come in,
lollygag,
3 or 4 weeks before you're officially ready to come out, and then even then get a couple snaps, and then I pay you 10 mil or 6, 7, 8 mil to come in and play for half the year.
Right.
So like for like 10 games. So a big part of it's the investment aspect of what these teams are looking for and what they want now. I'm pretty sure there's wide receivers now out there that aren't injured, but you can bring them in and they're ready to play. Like,
I mean, let's go to you, Manny. I want to hear your thoughts on it, but I want to add another note. What you said about time management with him, but go ahead, Manny.
I feel like the trade deadline should have been his final chance to pick the team that he was going to play on if he's so-called allowed to even do that. I mean, with all of his speculation, we're all understanding that these teams seem interested, but we don't necessarily know if he's being offered these chances to come play for these teams. I don't know. I agree with Double A. I don't. Even if he comes in, we're in week 13. You got 6 more weeks, and if you're picking a playoff team, I'm almost positive they're already going to have their 11 by now.
That's
You
true.
You can't don't think you're gonna come in and you're gonna be on the
Starting,
top 3
yeah.
in the depth chart. No, dude, you're coming off the bench. If that, like, you might just get even put on a practice squad, and it's like, all right, if we make a run for it and one of these guys aren't it, then we'll call you up. But personally, I don't know. I just think he's waited too long.
Yep.
I agree with Double A. He's not gonna. I mean, and Brandon, he's coming off an ACL injury.
Mm-hmm.
You need to have been playing and putting in actual game time on that injury to feel as comfortable as you could, just to be able to play physically. Like, we're just talking about. We're talking about you have to play at game time speed.
Yeah.
You're not doing that in practice. You're not doing that, and you're not gonna do game time speed against your own teammates. You gotta play against guys that are gonna look at you and be like, "Dang, you tore your ACL? All right, well, I'm about to get in your ass." Like, you're not gonna.
I'm definitely.
You're not cooking me. You're not the OBJ with 2 good ACLs. Nope. You OB. Hey,
OB,
bro. you one good ACL and the other one is like,
right.
You gotta if you were serious about wanting to play on a playoff team by week 8, 7, you would have made your decision so that you could be game time ready come the playoff. Because at this point, I think he's just looking for another ring to get easily. Not to say that he didn't earn his ring with the Rams.
Yeah.
But it's unfortunate that he did get hurt early in the game, which I think he feels like he's kind of got a he wants to work for it.
Right.
I could understand that, but I think waiting as long as he did, I don't know. I'm not saying that he's ring chasing, but I personally believe, like, if you're hungry to play the game that you so-called love and you're coming back off of an injury and you're in a sense still in your prime, you should be on that field playing, making ESPN catches. Like, I'm just saying.
He's just trying to be relevant, is what you're trying to say. Like, he ain't even about that.
The biggest is I agree, bro. It's like all these teams already have their 3, bro. Like, they have their 1, their 2, and their slot. And I'm pretty sure all these players, a lot of this decision is just chemistry.
Mm-hmm.
Like, are you gonna come in and fit in?
Mm-hmm.
Are you gonna come and disturb the locker room? Like, everybody's gonna be like, well, great, he's here, and now he wants to join us. When last year we tried to get him in here, and he didn't want to come last year. Now he want to come and join because the Rams don't want him back. So I think it's a lot of that too, even though it's just boys being boys sometimes.
No, yeah, and it is tough in general just to come out of like the blue and just kind of take off. The only guy I've really seen recently do that is Gronk, and he did decent. I mean, they won a Super Bowl, but I don't know. I mean, it's that chemistry with Tom Brady at the end of the day. Like, that's never gonna go away. You feel me? And I think that's different between OBJ going with Dak Prescott. Yeah, exactly. And it's like Gronk, dude. Gronk 1-on-1 any day. That's just how it is gonna be. Right. I wanted to go back to the Cowboys because I did miss this hot take that I had. I think the Cowboys are gonna be the first seed in the NFC. I think over
Philly.
Over Philly. I think Philly. I think I'll bring up the let me bring up the I got so this is the Eagles schedule right now. They're facing they have the Giants, they have the Saints, they have the Bears, and then they have the Cowboys and Titans. Then we have the Cowboys schedule. They have the Vikings, the Giants. I'm sorry, the Giants, the Colts, Texans. Pretty fairly easy teams. I just think that in essence that's where Philly kind of struggles more for me is their run defense. I feel like they struggled against the Packers with Aaron Jones. They struggled against Antonio Gibson and Brian Robinson. And I think what's going to lead to them is that they haven't played these running teams in the NFC. They haven't played these Giants. They're playing the Titans soon. They struggled against the Cowboys. The the Cowboys run game. And they're
against
playing
a
against
bunch of good
Kamara.
rushers, bro. They're about to go against a bunch of good
Right,
rushers
and
coming up
I
at the end of
think
this month.
I think the Cowboys have a little bit of an easier schedule, and I think that's what's gonna make them the first seed per se, because they have the tiebreaker against the Vikings. So I think I could see the Cowboys rolling in at the end, just kind of really taking off, and the Eagles' rush defense is what's gonna break them in the end of the day, and their injuries. I mean, injuries could fall down at two with it, but I just feel like. The Cowboys are going to be run. They're gonna be the one seed, and that would be really interesting for them to get to the NFC Championship.
Let's look at it right from the hot take you're selling. I mean, the biggest problem is with all these teams that they're playing is they have great run games, but that's it. They're one dimensional.
That's fair.
Titans ain't doing anything offensively on a pass game. Daniel Jones,
not pass game, no. Yeah, pass game, no. But Derrick Henry is a lot to do.
Yeah, but that being
I'm
said,
just
though,
saying.
like Eagles have a great secondary, so I mean, you can't. I mean, I'd rather take the chance of having Tannehill try to beat me, and Daniel Jones try to beat me deep. The one game, I will say where they can have the thing is they will have a struggle as obviously they play the Cowboys again, and that'll be the test of that game. But I mean, I don't see them ever really having a struggle of anything to any of these teams. Really, I mean,
I think Titans will be struggle. I could see Titans being a struggle.
Don't get me wrong, but Tannehill is a one-dimensional team.
I know. Bears are another run team too.
Fields, yeah, but if they shut down Fields, let's say we don't know what's the deal with Justin. Justin's saying he can play, but who knows? Maybe polls go. You know what? I don't want him out there if he's really that.
That'll be a big upset, bro.
I mean,
I know, I'm for it too. Right. But that's just Fields. You still got Montgomery and Herbert. Like that's.
Okay, so let's say if Fields is healthy, that can be a game because they have to worry about a quarterback that can move and throw. But even then, like to me, it's not enough. Like I mean, it's still at that point. Then what hurts the Bears is their defense is trash. It doesn't.
Which is what's been granting the Eagles these wins lately. Like they were close with the Packers, but that defense wasn't able to hold up.
Yeah, and their defense does enough where their offense is good enough to keep it going and keep scoring. So that's why to me, I mean, I still think Eagles are the one because they're playing against a bunch of one-dimensional teams that. It's running the ball and play action. And if you stop the run, then they can't play action. Then they have to pass. And if you can make these quarterbacks throw, they're not going to do well. And that's really why I think these Eagles still come out on top. Because, I mean, again, it's not that I don't believe in the Cowboys. But I think, Dak just forces it sometimes, man. And I think there's going to be games in there where, offensively, they're just not clicking as they want to because of Dak.
Yeah,
game is going to be on point, but passing game is going to be kind of
And we go back to going. In essence, it goes to the quarterback winning them games, and Hurts again. He don't really turn over the ball. So, but I just feel like I think it's a good hot take, bro. If maybe Hurts does slip up and it costs them the game, like a Josh Allen per se, or it's just I think their run defense is what their biggest weakness is, and coming to the wire against these big rushing teams, I mean, it's possible Cowboys could be that one seed. That's all I'm saying, and I could definitely see it happening. Anybody?
Oh, that for sure.
Go ahead.
Yeah, they're gonna face these big Russian teams, and like I don't remember who said it, but they're a lot of these teams are one dimensional. But if you look at
Aaron, just like 2 seconds ago. You already forgot.
Aaron's doing his research. That's why he's like, let me put this up. Let me pull this up. Oh boy, hold on. Let me pull out the Carfax. Hold on. Let me see. Go ahead, Aaron. I want to hear what you got on your studies.
The thing is, okay, the Bears and the Saints, they're bad teams. The only really good team they're playing is the Giants. They're really they're overachievers. They don't really have a great team. I think they're just really well coached. You know what I mean? They play great defense and they run the ball. They're very simple. It's the reason why the Giants lost the way they did to the Cowboys, because they're not better than the Cowboys or the Eagles. They don't have the talent. So the only game, if the Eagles lose to the Cowboys, I see them running the table with the Giants twice, Bears and Saints. I don't see them not being the number one seed, but Cowboys could come close. You know what I mean? But
Mm-hmm.
I just don't see it happening.
Fair enough. How you feeling about it, Matty?
I don't know, man. There's just some there's just so much that goes into it, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I don't want to sound like a
Broken
like,
record.
Broken record, yeah. But,
Fair
I mean,
enough.
Yeah, I'm gonna just leave it to really what both
Ah.
Double A and Brandon said.
That's fine. I just let's keep it rolling, man. We got Monday Night Football. It's the good old Tom Brady and the Buccaneers against the New Orleans Saints and pretty much the New Orleans Alvin Kamara's at the end of the day. It's definitely gonna be interesting. Let's talk about our takes. Who we think's gonna win and how we feel about it. Let's start. So I'm not even going in order here. I'm going off the script. We're just gonna start off with let's start with you, Manny. How you feeling about this game?
Wake up, Snowflake.
Sorry, my thing's lagging right now.
It's okay. You're good.
Are you guys there?
Yes, we're here.
We're here. We're
Okay.
here. You hear us?
As long as I can hear you, I'm sure everything's fine.
I got that
I
DSL,
do
boy.
got. I'm breaking news from you. Currently from Chicago. No. I do got for my pick for this game is gonna.
Oh.
Resilience, and I just love to see Tom Brady 2-minute drill in the fourth quarter when it really matters. And personally, I think Tampa's got a good run defense, so as long as they could shut down Alvin Kamara, and you got to test, really the throw game, which I don't see that being a threat to Tampa Bay either. I think Tampa Bay's gonna coast through this W. I do got them winning though. Like, it's gonna be a close game, so I got 17-14. Tampa Bay's winning.
Good old TB12 with the dub. All right, bro. Let's go to you, Double A. Who do you think's gonna win this game, and why, bro?
And this is a very key game for all teams because
that's right.
Now, they're in the division. As bad as they are,
that's crazy.
Everybody has a chance to win this division.
It's true.
But let me start. I got the Bucks winning, but let me speak on a little bit of the Saints. The Saints are just a mess, man. They're last. I think losing Sean Payton was a big deal. Last year they were a top 5 defense. They had hope for Jameis Winston.
Jameis Winston.
I mean, and so this year they're finding real quick that they're a bad team. They don't have a great coach. They have no talent on the offensive side of the ball beside my man Kamara and Chris Olave. And then defense has been pretty okay, but when your offense stinks, you're leaving your defense out to dry. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So going to the Bucks, they just coming off a very hard loss. They got their issues on the offensive line, and it looks like they got no balance. Like, you know what I mean? They run the ball. They run the ball really well, but they run away from the run. But I have the Bucks winning in a very low-scoring fashion, 19-10. It's going to probably be a really boring game. But, yeah, I think the Bucks win 19-10.
I don't know, man. I will say that, I feel like ever since Antonio Brown left the Bucks, they kind of just fell off. I know as weird as that sounds, I just feel like that's kind of an interesting take on that. But I will say still, though, they're going to win. I think the Buccaneers, it's still Tom Brady at the end of the day, and he knows this game's big, especially in that division. So I just think the score is going to be like 21. I think it's gonna be kind of low scoring. I want to say like 21-13. Definitely think Tom Brady's gonna be Tom Brady at the end of the day. And I don't know if Leonard Fournette's playing. I know they came off that hard loss against the Browns, but I know that's gonna make Tom Brady even angrier. So I'm excited to see what happens. And you know, Tom Brady's gonna win that division regardless. What about you, B? How you feeling about this game?
One, we're not gonna run past like you didn't just say the Buccaneers just started being bad once AB left. That is almost terrible.
No, it's not.
I can't
No,
believe
it's
you just
not.
said that.
I'm gonna
That
say
is
it because they have been.
atrocious.
It's not because they have been. I will.
Not because of him.
They're not. Well, no, I'm not saying cause of him. I'm not saying cause of him.
Well,
I'm not saying cause of him. I'm saying that.
It was because of him.
No. I'm saying it just kind of like seems like, in essence.
It's funny how they're playing bad now that AB's gone. That's crazy.
It is. I'm saying you could tell. I'm not saying it's because of AB, but it's just interesting how it's kind of definitely. It's definitely been just interesting how they're not as dominant as they used to be. That's all I'm saying. It's hard for a team to fall off like that, and I think it's interesting. And I'm not gonna say it's because of AB. I mean, it's not. I mean, they lost Gronk too. They lost. They have a new coach. It's a lot of things that play an effect, but it's just interesting that since AB left, it just kind of feels like. I'm not saying he's the reason, but it just feels like that dominance kind of faded away. That's all I'm really trying to say.
Okay, so again, I'm not gonna. I would have understood if you would have said. I would have been okay if you would have said since Bruce Arians left. If you would have said since Bruce Arians left, they haven't been the same. I would have been like perfectly understandable. But you saying because of AB? Oh, man,
I'm not saying because of AB though. I'm not. I'm saying.
You did though.
I said it's been interesting. I'm just saying it's been interesting since he left that their dominance hasn't been as strong. Okay, fine. You're right. I worded it wrong.
You did say no. Again, you're just re-saying it in a different way. You're saying because AB. You literally just said because AB.
I'm not.
Gone,
oh my god.
They
haven't been though. They haven't. They haven't been as dominant since AB's been gone. I mean, honestly, they haven't won as many games. I'm not bugging. No, I'm not bugging. I will say it's not because of AB.
Can we do like around the horn?
Wait, what?
Like what he's saying? Can somebody hit me with the? Yeah, can we? AB ain't nowhere. Where's AB now?
No, I'm not saying. Oh my gosh. I'm just saying. Since AB left. They haven't been as dominant. That's all I'm saying. There's a lot, but there's a lot of other factors that have played with it. There's a lot of other factors that played it. Oh my gosh. Okay.
You keep again. You're okay. Everybody here, besides Romeo, everybody else here, right? He's saying because AB is gone, they haven't been as dominant. We're all hearing the same thing, right?
That's not.
Yeah.
And don't say that's not what you're saying.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying since AB left, they've been going downhill. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying because of AB, they suck. I'm not saying that. I'm saying.
I get it. I heard what you said 17 times.
Oh my gosh.
The same thing over and over.
Okay.
What's the commercial that they do with the flag?
Yeah, it's the instant replay. It's Geico. I think.
Can we have that? Can we do that here?
I haven't gotten that far. This is my first time doing this, so bear with me. I'm still, bro. I'm just saying, since he left, they have gotten worse. That's all I'm saying, and not because of him. There's other factors. There's Gronk left, new coach. Injuries have been a factor. Mike Evans beating up players is another factor. Defense hasn't been that strong. All I'm saying, they haven't been as dominant as what they used to be. That's all I'm saying.
The same since they've won the Super Bowl.
That's
what you can say.
But they were. Oh my gosh.
They're not the same because since AB's left, they haven't been the same. It has to be. They are not the same since the Super Bowl. That's what you need to say.
No, what I'm saying is because they were doing
credit to AB. You're giving more credit to AB than he really needs.
AB was killing it. You can't tell me he wasn't. He was a factor. He was a factor.
Without AB.
They were what?
They could win.
They won the Super Bowl with that.
Yeah, facts.
They won a Super. Didn't they win a Super Bowl with them?
He was on that team.
Yeah.
But
again, and then he left the next season, and everything kind of went crazy. That's all I'm saying. I'm just saying. Oh my gosh.
So I'm gonna pick the Bucks. TB12's gonna do his thing. Because Brady's Brady. But that old line's hurting, and that's really what hasn't been the same since they won the Super Bowl is that O-line, So that's really what it is. Not AB.
I never
so
said,
we can
dude.
come back to that.
Dude,
I would like to say it's because they haven't been the same since Brady got divorced. I'm just saying.
that's what I'm saying. There's a lot of things. There's a lot of things that have been going on since AB left. They've just been bad luck. It's just been bad luck, bro. It's facts. It's facts. Well, they won the Super Bowl. Listen, hear me out. They won the Super Bowl, right? They won the Super Bowl. Let me speak. They won the Super Bowl. Then they started winning games. Like over that next season, they started winning and stuff was going good. Then AB left, and then Gronk started. He left. He did his thing.
To the playoffs.
They got booted out they didn't even do anything in the playoffs.
AB would have won it for him.
No, I'm just saying it wasn't as dominant as what they were when they won the Super Bowl. That's what I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
Rephrase your thing. You just said it now because
I didn't say they suck because AB wasn't there. I said they just ever since AB left, they've been going downhill. That's all I'm saying. That has nothing to do with that because they suck. There's other factors.
You are saying but understand your key for your key.
My key phrase is since AB left, they've been going downhill. Yes, that's what I said. There's a lot of things that went. It's like a domino. One domino falls. Okay, a bunch of dominoes are falling. Now look where they're at.
That makes sense.
That's what I'm trying to say.
You never said that. You said ever since.
Oh my gosh, because I'm trying to get to my point of what the pick is. They went from a dominant Super Bowl team, right? Now they have a losing record.
Super Bowl, they haven't been the same.
Okay, yes, but they were still dominant after the Super Bowl. They were still winning games. Then the whole thing with AB happened, and then they've been losing. Now they have a losing record. That's all I'm saying. It's just crazy how that. It's like. Once he left, a domino effect happened. That's what I'm saying. What?
He's like barely. He didn't really have a high snap count. Like he was there like here and there. So that's another thing about the whole AB conversation. It's like he was barely on the field. Like he'd go out there.
He wasn't even the key piece to the Super Bowl. Like I mean, yeah, he had a few catches in here and there, but I don't think he was like the big difference maker for the Bucs.
Now you gotta watch out for him while he's out there, but.
Yeah. Of course,
it's still Gronk's offense.
It's still Gronk.
I mean, there's a lot of other pieces, yeah.
I think AB was like their third, fourth option at best.
Facts. Very true. Very true.
So
That's fair.
AB didn't do anything. Now, if you say, hey, AB started some like bad mojo in the back, yeah, you can say that because ever since
the
then,
curse, the Buccaneers curse.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm trying to say. That's what I'm trying to say.
You didn't say that.
Ever since AB left, it's been going downhill. That's what I just said.
But understand though the context. If you were to put that on an article, right? If you put that on an article,
that's on y'all to read it that way. That's fine. That's what I want. I want publicity. That's what I'm saying. But I'm not trying to say it. I'm not trying to say it that way. That's how they interpret it. How they interpret it is how they interpret it. That's on them. That's all I'm saying. But I'm clearing it out. Okay, go ahead.
So then whatever you say is how you say it, and we're just gonna have to.
No, I fixed it. You're right. I apologize. I apologize. You're right.
We did exactly.
I don't know. No, I'm just saying. I ever since ever since AB left, they've been doing bad. That's it. Whether it's bad mojo, whether it's he's telling y'all better leave too. I don't know. I don't know what it is. No, I never said anything about him being a dominant player. I mean, he was a factor.
Okay, that's what I'm saying though. Like,
okay,
if you were to tell that to anybody, they would think, "Oh, you're saying AB leaving is the reason why they fell off is because obviously his offensive input into that offense."
That's fine, but I wasn't even. That's
I understand, but anybody that would hear that would think that. That's why everybody in this room here reacted the way they did.
Yeah,
because that's why Aaron reacted. That's why Manny. That's why I was like, hold on,
wait. I'm just trying to get to the picks. That's all I was trying to say. I think AB again. I think AB was he was helpful, but he wasn't a big factor of why they've been sucking. No, but since he left again, they have been going downhill. That's all I'm saying. That's all I said.
Got it.
Copy that. All right.
I got Brady Bucks.
Therefore,
Brady Bucks. I got Brady.
Brady
Bucks.
Brady Bucks.
I got Brady's Bucks.
Bucks.
Okay. Let's go. I wanted to talk about Well, we can go two ways with this. We're done with the Buccaneers. Let's talk about Alvin Kamara. All right, he's part of this big draft class. I'm gonna pull it up. It's the 2017 draft class. They got Leonard Fournette on there, Christian McCaffrey, Dalvin Cook, Joe Mixon, Kareem Hunt, James Conner, Aaron Jones, and Austin Eckler. And I thought it was quite interesting, man, that these guys all came from the same draft class. It was a crazy running back draft class, and it shows there Alvin Kamara has the most touchdowns. There's a bunch of good names though. No matter who you have on that draft, it's a win. I look at it like that. I wanted to see who you guys think would be the best fit, or who do you guys think is the best out of that draft? Let's start with you, Manny. How are you feeling about it?
Personally, a fan favorite of mine when it comes to that draft class is Leonard Fournette from LSU.
Yeah.
Personally, I just think he's a real threat in the running back position. He just gives off that older, that pound and ground, kind of vibe where he's good and light on his feet, but he's real cutthroat as far as running the ball. Like he's not afraid to get hit, and that was something I saw even when he was coming out of LSU when they were successful. He made a name for himself in Jacksonville, and then got a chance to prove himself in Tampa Bay, which allowed him to win a ring, being the number one running back in Tampa. For me on that list, he's my personal favorite. I think he's been a little bit more successful than some of them.
Well, he has a ring.
Outside of a ring, I don't know. I just feel like I think he's just overall successful. With that being said, there's a lot of great running back names that come out of there, out of that draft class. But for me, it's got to be Leonard Fournette.
And I was on the fence because I'm picking Kamara, but I was on the fence with Fournette because if you look into it going into the draft, in essence, he's consistent. You know what I'm saying? Like these other guys, Eckler, I never really heard of him in college. Dalvin Cook, I've heard of. But Leonard Fournette, he was consistently dominant. He made it. He stuck to his name in essence. You know what I'm saying? And I think because of that, and he won a championship. I don't know if he won. I don't know how far they got with LSU. I can't remember that year, but I know it wasn't the year with Joe Burrow. I know that, but it was still pretty dominant. To see some guy at the SEC still kind of carry over and be that to get that championship. What about you, B? Who do you think? I know. Actually, I already know who you picked, but I want to hear it out for everybody here.
MC.
Yeah.
All right. And the reason why is out of what school?
Stanford.
Stanford. Like, bro, like really, right? Like the impact to his game. Like the last really big name out of Stanford before CMC was Andrew Luck, right? So like, players that are coming out of Stanford that go to the league are dominant players. Like you have to be doing something crazy,
right?
To be like, okay, you're gonna be a top pick or a high pick, and he was. What hurts him is obviously the injuries, right? He hasn't been healthy, but when he's in, he's the difference maker. He's literally the guy like everybody's watching out for. People were like, I mean, let's be honest, right? If he would have stayed in Carolina, probably wouldn't matter. Same thing with kind of Kamara, because if Kamara nothing happens, he kind of gets that off-season trade where who knows, he might be somewhere else by the next year, and it'll rejuice his career. But I think that's the biggest thing. I think CMC moving to the Niners, whether they stay with if they go Trey Lance or they go Jimmy G next year, it's gonna be a big move for them. And I just think CMC just makes the difference. He's more than just a running back. He's a receiving back, and at that, a really good one. There's really not a lot of receiving backs, and like at least just running backs that are dual threat. You're either really good at the run game or you're really good at receiving, and he's both of them. And that being said, like his name still carries weight. He still can be, bro. Let's be honest, right? From our standpoint, in terms of fantasy, he's still a top 5, top 3 running back in fantasy. still. And because it's just what he can do and what he brings to an offense and how he's a dual threat. So, with that being said, my favorite out of that draft class so far has been CMC.
And the man can run and pass. Like he
Dude,
can do it
everything.
all. Yeah. He's a
You name it, he does it.
return kicks, all that stuff, man. I was just on the fence with CMC just cause like for me with Kamara, bro, like I wouldn't want to if I were to tackle one of them, I would rather tackle CMC than Kamara because Kamara looks like a beast, and that's the only reason why I'd say that. But what about you, Double A? Who would you pick?
Hey man, how do you not choose Kamara, guys? Has been injury.
That's facts.
Christian McCaffrey has been a phenomenal player when he's on the field.
Yeah.
He can't stay healthy. And then Leonard Fournette, he being the first running back off the board, I'll be disappointed looking back like, dang, I could have had Kamara or CMC, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
He was okay in Jacksonville. His career kind of took off with Tampa Bay, but nowhere close to Kamara. Like, Kamara is a mismatch nightmare. He can run between the tackles. He can be a receiver on the outside. He got speed. He got swag. There's no reason that any of these guys are better than Kamara. Kamara has been really consistent when he plays. He's been the whole Saints offense since he's stepped with the Saints. You know what I mean? He's the whole offense right now, and the Saints are lacking talent. You know what I mean? But my guy's Kamara, man. You can't go wrong with him, man. Like mismatch nightmare for real.
I mean,
I can agree.
I can't. I can't go.
Hold on, B.
Kamara.
I was gonna say this. I don't. Let me know if you agree. I can't agree with that. Double A only because Alvin Kamara thrived off of a two-back system because his name developed more because he was given the opportunity. Obviously, he's got the most touchdowns out of that draft class because he shared touches, and I think the touches he shared, he got more successful because what is it, Bernard? Not Bernard. It was Mark Ingram. Why did I think of Bernard? Man, Mark Ingram. He shared touch with Mark Ingram, another Alabama alum who was a threat in the running game. I think personally why I think for Brandon and I we choose them is because CMC has been the one and number one and the one and only. He never had to share touches. The same with Leonard Fournette, never had to share touches.
Well, he had Ronald. What was his name on the Buccaneers?
Exactly. He had
Ronald Adams. Ronald. I mean, still though, he was a big threat.
Exactly.
I'm just saying. Hey, I'm just saying that's still sharing touches, and he has I don't know what they have right now, but
you're not sharing touches with Mark Ingram though. Like,
no, that's facts. That's fact. But still, but that brings up the point. Even though he is sharing touches, he's making most of these touches that he does get by getting touchdowns.
I mean, exactly. No, exactly. Which I agree.
Mark Ingram in the game. There was times where Saints put him out in receivers. They were like, you know what? Let's put Mark Ingram as running back. Let's put Kamara as a receiver. This guy you can put him anywhere on the field.
I will say the Saints are in the race because of Kamara.
Yeah,
Exactly.
but look at my biggest thing is this. If you look at them by numbers, let's go stats. If we go the stats conversation, they're still pretty close, even with as many games as McCaffrey has missed.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're not. The difference is like 400 yards. Like for Kamara to have. So right, let's look at the stats. Kamara has 79 games on McCaffrey, 66. It's not too big of a gap, but it's more than enough to get you 100 yards per game, right? Mm. Rushing yards per game, McCaffrey has more, 62.3. He averages more. Versus Alvin has a 58.9. Attempts, McCaffrey has one more attempt at a 13.5, while Kamara has 12.1. Pass targets, Kamara has more pass targets. Kamara's overall career is at 521.
Well, he has a quarterback. He had Drew Brees.
Okay, look at the difference. Like the difference is this much of why Kamara has more, right? So targets, he's at 521 out of 493.
Mm-hmm.
McCaffrey has 493 receptions. 406 out of 400. Receiving yards, the difference is like less than 200 yards or less than 200 yards, about 200. Kamara's at 3,550, while McCaffrey's at 3,371. So there's not that much of a gap. Receiving touchdowns, Kamara has 22, McCaffrey has 19. So like, to me, Kamara's had more games, more everything, because of obviously he's been the healthier out of the two, and McCaffrey is literally this much from being behind, like this much. Like, to me, to have that man.
And I mean, look, I'm on the. Oh, go ahead. Yeah, no, go ahead, Aaron. Yeah, go ahead, Aaron.
For me, that's the difference. I mean, CMC, don't get me wrong, he's a phenomenal player, but I mean, would you want a healthy Kamara or a CMC? You think, oh my God, is he gonna play?
So,
this week?
Yeah, but
if we put them side by side, if we do Kamara, if we gave CMC the same amount of starts as Kamara, CMC would be the better running back.
Oh yeah, I give you that.
But that's what I'm saying, though. That goes to the thing. So if you're telling me if I'd rather have a healthy CMC over a healthy Kamara, I'll take a healthy CMC, because I know he's going to be more efficient than Kamara is, because the numbers kind of show it. Without, even if they're on Kamara's side, the difference again is like 200, 300 yards. This man's missed full seasons of NFLs and still is only like 300 yards, like a difference, like 200 yards difference. And that's something CMC can get in like one game. Like
I think the game changer would be if
he's going to stay healthy. Like, I mean, like, yeah, he's like one hit away from season-ending injury.
Kamara hasn't really been that healthy. Wasn't healthy a little bit last year, and he hasn't really been healthy either.
Yeah, but
fighting like a foot injury or something.
Yeah,
I think, I mean, it more validates the argument, Double A, if Kamara was the main, it was the RB1. Like, if he isn't sharing touches at all, then I think without a doubt he could be probably, if not the best running back in that
class.
In that class. And yeah, in that class. But yeah, but I also agree with B. I mean, it doesn't. I mean, I was hearing the game, the difference in that practically almost a full season. CMC misses, to keep and the numbers be so intact. I don't know. I just think, yeah, I agree. I mean, it's weighted evenly overall, but yeah. I mean, I think full healthy seasons. They're about 5-6 seasons in their careers, and they still got time to be successful for sure. I think that's probably one of the best running back draft classes.
It is. No, that because you could still argue with Joe Mixon and Eckler. I mean, those guys are just as efficient too. I mean, Eckler's a little more for me like a McCaffrey, because he can catch a little more and he runs too. But Mixon's just kind of been consistent, bro. Like to me, Mixon's always kind of been that beneficiary for Joe Burrow. Like, Joe Burrow just kind of evolved, and I feel like Joe Mixon has always been kind of that dominant piece for the Bengals, and they built around him. But at the end of the day, I mean, I don't know. Just the thing with Kamara is, I mean, that guy's literally leading this team to be a potential playoff team. As for McCaffrey, I mean, he was with the Panthers. They struggled, so I don't know if that's another reason why I didn't really pick him. But I'm not gonna say he's not like totally off. That's all I'm saying.
I mean, offense.
Yeah, but it's also the coaching. It's also the coaching for both. I mean, the Panthers were in a mix of having all these different coaches, so that definitely plays a factor too.
It goes down to everything, right? It goes down to, at the end of the day.
Thank you, Mon Squad.
Running backs in different. You put these running backs in different teams. How dominant are they going to be, right? Like, if you put CMC with Josh Allen, how crazy is that? Patrick Mahomes, Tua, Lamar, Joe Burrow. How bigger of an impact would he be versus Joe Mixon, Austin Eckler? Like, that's how I see it, right? So, I would say CMC would be better offensively with any of those teams. If he was with Joe Burrow, they'd take another step, because Mixon's really he's a dual threat. Like,
he is.
Getting with CMC, you're either getting running or he's gonna give you yards on a passing.
Yeah, he is.
That's why to me, that's why I figure he's the best, and Kamara's the second because he's just as good. But I can put CMC anywhere on any team, and I'd be like, they're definitely
Well,
that's literally more
another
TDs, more rushing yards,
yeah,
more of an offensive like somebody you have to worry about. And you
yeah.
can do that with Kamara, but everybody else is really one dimensional. You either run or you receive.
Mhm.
Fair enough. Let's that was a good discussion, guys. Let's keep it going. We're actually gonna move to some NBA because I feel like we were all football out. I mean, it's been a good talk. But I want to talk about actually no. There's one less football thing because I know Deshaun Watson. I know I wanted to bring up Deshaun Watson, bro, because that's crazy. He might play his first NFL game this week. It's definitely going to be interesting to see Deshaun Watson back in the league. He's, hasn't been around since he's been with the Texans. It's going to be interesting to see him in the Browns uniform. He definitely slangs the thing around, and he's going to be a good player to see, man. And he's with the Browns team that actually has potential. Maybe not this year, but definitely in the years coming.
You gotta find a new phrase.
I can't say because you say gunslinger. You say gunslinger, so I don't know. I don't know.
That ball.
He's good at throwing the ball. But I just want to say, man, because I know Brissett's been killing it too. So it's like it might be a little disrespectful. I mean, they paid the man, so
it sucks, man. It sucks. I feel like Jacoby's done so well.
Right.
He's really made them. I think he's such a good team quarterback. Like he really has a camaraderie. He's a good leader.
Yeah,
man. And I just like it sucks to see him like, hey man, I appreciate it. Hand over the keys.
Right. That's messed up.
You have to, especially with everything you've invested in Deshaun, you would look dumb if you didn't put Deshaun out there, even if he was terrible, because you put all this
money,
these draft picks into it. You put money, bro. You put so much.
And he's playing. They're playing the Texans on top of it. That's another crazy thing.
And that's another. Yeah, you have to put him out there, especially obviously for the spotlight. So, it sucks, but it's the business. And I mean, Jacoby, again, great guy. Is he a number one QB though? No, I think he's a great number two though. He's a great overachieving number two, but he's not a number one.
No doubt. How do you guys feeling about Deshaun Watson coming back? How about you, Double A?
Man, he has to come back. They paid him money.
He got no choice.
Do you think he can lead them to a Super Bowl though in his time with the Browns?
I mean, they have a very little time right now because they have. I don't know about this year.
Yeah, I don't know about this year either.
They got to gang up for next year, and let's remember Deshaun Watson was probably a top 3 quarterback before all these things came out with him. You know what I mean? So
it's MVP caliber.
If we
about 2 to 3, yeah.
That's a lot of time, man. Like how much he missed a lot of time not playing any football. But if he can get any old form of Deshaun Watson back, this Cleveland Brown team, they have a good team to like push for a championship next year. I don't think it'll be this year because Deshaun Watson.
Yeah.
And he hasn't played any football for a couple of years, but
it's that division in general. I mean, you still got the Bengals there and the Ravens, yeah.
And Amari's been lights out with Jacoby, so if that's all Deshaun has to do is just
bro,
that consistent with
that backfield between those two running backs and Deshaun, bro, like that's crazy. That's crazy.
There's too much talent on that team to not be a playoff team. Like they should be a playoff team.
No doubt. What about you, Manny? How you feeling about Deshaun Watson's return?
It should be exciting, man. He's a great quarterback, and he's sat out way too long. He definitely should be in the talks of the quarterback discussion with how great of a quarterback he is. Sucks that the allegations and all that stuff. Politics. Let's be honest. Politics. Once they get involved in the industry, then it kind of does many things. It tanks and diminishes like who you are as a player.
does
I mean,
have a lot of
granted, what he
allegations.
did was terrible.
No, yeah.
Not to like give him a break or anything. But
No, yeah.
I just think in the back end of things, you know, you can have. I understand like those things are.
Brandon's
tough.
dying over here.
He is.
That's fucking funny. It's fucking funny. I'm sorry. You go ahead, man. I'm enjoying myself here.
Enjoy
Oh,
yourself,
man, you need
Brandon.
some water, boy. Get that man some water.
Enjoy yourself. Anyways,
So I guess that man. Get that man some Aquafina. Some ice
Um,
water.
where was I at? Oh,
Politics.
Sean Watson.
Politics.
Politics. We're gonna be great
Do you-
again.
do you
That's
think-
his quota when it's out of the
Oh, we're going to that podcast now. No, do you think Deshaun Watson can lead the Browns to a Super Bowl? I'll start with that.
Yeah, they have the tools. They have the tools to do that. Maybe with a few added pieces on the defensive end to kind of tighten things up. They're in probably I believe they're in one of the toughest divisions in all of the NFL. It just seems like that division in and of itself, when Pittsburgh was dominant, they dominated that, a division. The same with Baltimore, and currently right now the up and coming, the Bengals. I think that having Deshaun Watson as much of a threat of a quarterback he is, just really adds a spin to how that division. Well, in this case, Pittsburgh's out of the conversation, but it comes back to that division being a very dominant division again. In the AFC North, I think he could. I think he could be what Baker Mayfield isn't. And what does that mean for Cleveland? It means that they'll finally have a quarterback that they could rely on, they could trust. Jimmy Brissett did a fantastic job, but I think it's time for a true superstar to really fill in the shoes, for the Cleveland Browns. They've been let down time and time again with all of these potential number ones.
Yeah.
But I think they'll find success in Deshaun Watson when he comes back.
No doubt.
Randy Watson. Let him lead the way.
Oh man, I gotta watch Coming to America. All right, let's move over to basketball. I want to talk about the Lakers, man, because I know they're starting to win. They're starting to win these games, bro, and it's interesting how all of a sudden they're winning these games and what's coming about them. I mean, they're I will say they're winning, like they're beating these, kind of not top 10 teams, but their chemistry is getting good. And we talked about AD having to be dominant in order for them to win, and he has been doing that. So I wanted to go a little further. If you think this is all just hype, or maybe they are legit. Let's start off with you, Double A. How you feeling about the Lakers?
You know what? If the Lakers stick to what they do best, is play inside ball, push the ball, fast break. That's what they've been doing, and that's what's been helping them win. If they keep that formula, they'll definitely be in the play-in. But I think that's their ceiling. I don't see them anything past that. You know what I mean? Because they don't have the shooting. They don't have nobody that can shoot the three ball in this new and they don't have a bench, so it's going to be really tough for them to keep up with these top teams in the West. So I mean, they're doing a good job, but they're doing a good job, but they're going to be playing in the tournament in later in the season.
All right, what about you, Brandon? How you feeling about these Lakers?
I think they just I don't think they're it, man. I don't think they're nowhere near close. I mean, they just need a lot, man. They need a lot. Like, you look at the bench they had to where the bench they had when they won it all versus the bench they have now, and it is 360 of that. Like, it's not even close. You hear it on every sports thing. Like, they're not the team, bro. They're just not. And if I were them, I scrap. If I'm Palinka, I'm scrapping it. What?
Yeah.
Like, I'm literally. You're the 12 seed at 7-11. The team above you is Luka at 9 and like. you're gonna play Luca, and they're not gonna lose. I don't think like. And to be honest, you can't expect LeBron to carry you anymore at this point. LeBron is
Wow.
literally
Wow.
like doing the most that he can. Like LeBron is not that he can't do it alone, but LeBron, you're asking a 38, 39-year-old to literally lead you to the promised land, and he's still balling. I'm not taking away that he's not balling, but he can't be expected to be. That's the reason why AD's there. AD has to be the one that takes over and does it. That's the same reason why Dwayne Wade handed the keys to LeBron when he came to Miami. It was like I have Miami was my place and everything, but you LeBron James, here the keys. You drive. I'll be here to help support and do what I gotta do, but this is your team, and that's kind of LeBron's like I'm gonna give you what you want. Like I'm gonna do my game, but
Hmm.
I need you to step up.
Right.
And that's the hard part is like just relying on him to try to do everything at this point. If I'm Palinka, I'm blowing it up. I'm doing the OKC treatment. I'm looking for first rounders. I'm sending LeBron somewhere. I'm sending AD somewhere. I'm sending all these guys somewhere to go get to just rebuild. Because at this point, that's the best move to make is rebuilding. Because what happens is if you don't, all these guys are gonna do, they're all gonna walk, and you ain't gonna
Yeah.
get nothing more. So
Okay. What about you, Manny? How you feeling about these Lakers?
I think they're gonna be good. They're kind of picking up stride a little bit here, but as far as them dominating, I don't see that happening because they just don't have all the tools. I agree with what you were saying, B. The bench. The sheer reality is, in order to be successful, you need someone to fill in that sixth role, and then you need to be able to kind of rely on the bench to pick up those extra 15, 20 points, if that. AD is showing to actually really pick up on his side of the game. Same with LeBron. You know, they're being as successful as they can. It's the same with Russ. Russ. One thing I like about Russ is that he hasn't lost his confidence whatsoever. Missed shots, you know, air balls, missed anything. I just think, yeah, I think you can notice the little bit of the frustration, but I think overall his attitudes towards just wanting to be successful, and showing that, you know, there's a reason why they got him there, and there's a reason why his name is Russell Westbrook. You know, personally, I think that gives a lot to the team when he kind of provides that positive foot forward in trying to just be a overall successful basketball player. I don't think it's about, you know, dominating in points and the boards and, you know, getting triple doubles like he was relied on in OKC, but, you know, it's very much kind of filling in as that role player they might maybe need, you know.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I just don't. I don't see it being enough to
Look,
allow them
man.
to continue to be successful.
Look, they brought in Russell Westbrook with the idea of being the starting point guard, and that was what he was supposed to be.
Hmm.
Now they're trying to salvage that and make him a bench player. You already messed up. Like you messed up the minute you said, LeBron, let's go trade out all these players away, all these pieces away. Because imagine LeBron now with Brandon Ingram, Jordan Clarkson, Lonzo
I
Ball,
was
and that team.
Yeah, I was gonna say that, like, in essence, you have what the New Orleans Pelicans are doing with these young guys, and
Yeah.
in essence, you could have had that, and at that point, and you could have had DeMar DeRozan. Like, I feel like you have his ego. You can't have LeBron run that team. I think that goes to Jeannie Buss at that point. I think Jeannie Buss is the problem with the Lakers, and she's doesn't know what to do. You know, she's giving the keys to Rob.
Do you blame Palinka?
I think it's both. Because you had Magic Johnson, one of the best basketball players ever, and he has won championships with organizations in other sports.
Outside, yeah.
And it's like, dude, you can't get rid of this guy. You know, you could tell there was something going on there when Magic left, and so I feel like because. It's got to be those two that kind of ran it, and I think it's them giving this too much of trust in LeBron, and I think LeBron, you know, his ego is what's kind of led him to deciding who he wanted to play and what he wanted. So, yeah.
That being said, right? Let's say if LeBron comes down the road, because he looks like he would be that player that eventually will own a team. Do you think LeBron would be the equivalent to Jordan and even ownership in that sense? Like, would he be
Yeah, I could
great
see him.
player, kind of, but on the ownership side, like
No, well,
right? Because
the thing is, I think LeBron's about money. LeBron's a businessman. I don't think he's like, granted, he wants to win. Yeah, I could see that, but I know at the end of the day, he's a businessman. I feel like Jordan, he wants to win, but it's hard for him to find that team. Like, he has his here and now moments finding these guys, but I feel like LeBron's more about money than he is about winning when it comes to that point.
To me, like Jordan in terms of draft picking, I mean, obviously his first pick was one of his worst, was just trying to get Kwame on there.
Yeah.
Wherever he went, right? So
yeah.
And the Kwame was when he was a Wizard, right? So like he asked for Kwame, I think, at that time, and I just think like he hasn't really had the greatest track record even on basketball player picks too.
Yeah, no. Well, LaMelo, yeah. No, you're good.
Exactly, for that part, he hasn't had the greatest track record. Right now, he's on a good start because he got LaMelo. But for the most part, I mean, if LeBron were to take that step, would he be good? Like, would he? Because I mean, I feel like that's kind of his role now, like a player manager, kind of like right, like where he's looking to build a team around him, and what the pieces need to be around him. But is he really helping? I mean, obviously he's not thinking that far in the future because who knows? He's gonna be gone, right? He's waiting for Ronnie to come in.
Yeah.
But like, would he be just as good? Would he be better than Jordan from or any like player
that's a
owner?
good,
Because it's not just Jordan, right? There's a bunch of them out there, So,
like Dwayne Wade's another one. He's with the Jazz, and the Jazz look competitive right now, and then they're just a bunch of guys that. No names per se that are making a name, and so it's like that's a good question. I don't know if LeBron, I don't know, because he seems to. It's hard for us because we never really see LeBron play with these rookies per se and develop with them. The only one I could think of close was Kyrie, and I was like Kyrie's like third or fourth year.
But Kyrie with the Celtics with young Jaylen Brown and
but I never really saw LeBron play with like a legit rookie per se and like made him shine, if that makes sense.
I think the biggest thing because of that is because he's not that he doesn't trust rookies. I think he just rather deal with somebody that knows the game. I think that's
he's a win now. He's a win now guy.
Yeah, I want to win now. I don't want to really have to worry about being that player that's going to develop young kids because that's a lot. That's asking a lot of him when he's trying to go out and win a championship. And that's all he's really focused on.
Yeah, which is why because he's a win now, he knows that money is going to make it relative. So he's just going to get big names to be with each other regardless.
Yeah, and to be honest, and what we talked about before, if I was Pelinka, I just blow it up. Like, there's nothing really you can do. You can hold on to these guys and hope for it. And maybe that's what they do. Maybe they wait by trade deadline and they're like, all right, you know what? Let's move on from AD. We definitely know by this point we're not going to be a playoff team. We'll start with AD. We'll start with the first domino. We'll move to AD, and then we'll see, who's going to offer, because this is LeBron. We're talking about LeBron James here. Who's going to give me picks, right? It's a 39-year-old, but don't get me wrong. Somebody's going to go out there and be like, I'll give you this, I'll give you this, and I'll give you this for LeBron. Especially a team that wants to win now. They're not going to say no to LeBron. Like, you're crazy. Like, any team out there. I mean,
go ahead, Aaron. I want Aaron to get on this subject. Go ahead, Aaron. What do you guys say?
I agree because being that LeBron's like, 40, 55, or wherever, how old he is, like,
damn.
I mean,
55?
would you give up assets to get LeBron right now? Like,
no, you won't. Depends on the team. Depends on the team. Yeah. If it's like the OKC Thunder or Indiana Pacers, I mean, it's like, okay, they need that stardom. You know what I'm saying?
No, I wouldn't trade for that. I wouldn't do it.
You still have to give up players and picks. Is the reason why Durant wasn't traded, because you have to give up so much to get a caliber player like a LeBron. You know what I mean?
But if the Lakers went up to Phoenix and they were like, hey, I'll give you LeBron for like a couple first. You think Phoenix passes up on that?
No.
Heck no. Lakers not even gonna want that. Lakers gonna want, like, okay, you want LeBron? Give me a few picks. Give me Devin Booker.
Nah,
Give me like.
I don't
Yeah,
think. Because I don't think
That's
LeBron
fair.
is because then it comes down to this, right? It comes down to trade clause if he wants to go or not. At the end of the day, because I think that's what he has. He has the say so on whether he wants to go or not. He's gonna pull the KD where if I go somewhere, there has to be a chance for me to either win, and there has to be players there. Which again, I understand that wherever they're gonna want to move him, they may want to ask for players. But then again, too, dude, you got to think about sometimes some of these front office don't care at that point if they're getting a player back in return because it doesn't matter. They might be okay with just taking the picks. If it's something like we're getting 3 first rounders or 4 first rounders and just a random person, I'll take it for LeBron. Like I'm not gonna lie to you because I'm thinking of that future. If it's for 2 first rounders in that single draft, I'll take it. Like, or if it's a couple years in a row and maybe a player to build around, why wouldn't I look at that as an option? Those are teams like you can look at Denver,
I feel
right?
like that's not
Because I mean, like I think of a team like Denver, right? They have they have a young core and everything, right? But you got to think if they want to win now, are they going to win now with Michael Porter Jr.? Maybe, but I would take LeBron. And that's something where on the Lakers side, you can take MPJ and be like, cool, I can build around him and have a couple of draft picks, you know? So, like, I think of teams like that can
Bulls.
sacrifice, you know, where they're giving up something young, but they still have their core where you got Jamal Murray and you still have, you know, Joker and let's just throw
Joker.
You know, hey, that's the Joker.
The Joker.
Yeah, you're trading for picks, but those picks not gonna really mean anything because
You just got rid of LeBron.
You're getting late first round picks because those teams are gonna be good.
Yeah.
So it doesn't.
It's a good argument.
But that's what I'm saying.
It's a good
I
argument.
mean, I get that, which is fine, but like a part of it too comes down to like what you're getting in return. So that's what I'm saying. The big thing is if you get somebody like MPJ where you can be like, cool, this is a young star I can build around, then maybe you could take something. You could trade to a team like that and be like, okay with the return if it's like 3 or 4 first rounders. Because that being said, yeah, they're great now, but down the road, who knows, 3 or 4 years from there, they could be a middle of the pack, lower pack team because these windows don't stay open forever. Right now, Nuggets windows is hot, but how long before they have to? Before they have to really look at restructuring contracts, rebuilding a team because some of these guys are going to be max contract players coming off of their Jamal Murray. Who knows if he wants to stay, but he wants a lot more down in the future. What if some of their bench wants to? You know, that's how I think. So you have to look at it from that perspective, where maybe not today, maybe not, but tomorrow, maybe another couple years. You have something to look at in those first round picks because it's not guaranteed that your top 10 are going to be, you know, they're all going to be the best players. We've seen 1 through 32 or 1 through whatever 40 something, you know, and those bottom half end up becoming your best players. Fred VanVleet, undrafted, has a nice contract, plays in Toronto, is a baller. Like, you know, I look at those players, how they became big names, and it's just like, damn, okay, Kawhi, it wasn't a top
San Diego
pick.
State. Well,
San Diego State, low key dog, comes out one of the better small forwards.
Damian Lillard.
Yeah, it goes all to that. So that's like, you know, even it's low, but I'll take him if I got, because then you got to think of if they're getting the first rounders for that and they're keeping their first rounders, they're getting 2 first rounders in one draft. We're not just looking at the one draft pick. You're getting a 20. I'm gonna get maybe my second or third because we're trash, plus then number 15, 16, 17, or maybe even 20, 22. You know what I'm saying? So that's how you gotta look at it.
Well, it's really hard being. The thing is, I think for any other team that'll be something to consider, but it's really hard for LA to go back and try to build through the draft because there's such a big.
They've never done that.
They have fans to please, you know, and LA and New York, all these big cities, they're rowdy. They want to see.
They want to win now, yeah.
They don't got time for rebuild.
Well, hey, they did the rebuild last time, right? And they gave up on it so fast. But look at how all those players turned out, though. All those players turned out great. So imagine now you might have a fan base that's like, okay, now we understand.
But that was because of Magic, though. That was because of Magic. Yeah, those draft picks were because of Magic.
Exactly. And at that point, though, you look at it and you could have been like, look, if we would have just waited
Yeah.
2 years,
They
'cause
got
that's all it
greedy.
took
They
for these
got greedy,
players.
bro. They got greedy. As
Yeah,
as
but
the
that's what I'm
Lakers
saying.
always
Like,
are.
if you could have waited 2 years, look at the difference. Because that's all they took. All these players took the next leap, like the following year, or the year after that. They were already like all all-stars. Julius Randle did great.
Brandon Ingram.
Lonzo, Brandon
Those
Ingram, Jordan Clarkson turned out to be six man of the year. Like,
Kuzma.
bro, Kuzma. Like, so that's the difference. It's just if you could have just waited a year or two more, these Lakers team would have been like, damn, these guys are crazy young. They have some great players.
It's
And
just
now you could
it's
have
the
probably
it's
gotten some of these trades without giving up first round picks.
Yeah.
And been okay with the.
I think the problem is that they compared it to when Kobe played with those young guys. Because when Kobe played with those young guys, they still weren't winning. It was just Kobe doing his own thing on his own. So I could see that being kind of and then obviously the passing of him. They were like, well, we need to win now. So
Yeah, it was not, they were on a losing streak for a little bit already.
yeah.
Because they dealt with they did Russell first, and then they went Lonzo because Russell wasn't really doing
Yeah.
good. But
Yeah.
then Russell turned out well a couple years down the road. So
Yeah,
it's like,
yeah.
It's the play that you got.
It's the coaching too. Coaching
but
too
you
never really had a decent coach. I mean, Frank Vogel's an okay coach, and
They ain't been the same since Phil's gone. That's all. Let's be
yeah,
it's the same way with the Bulls.
nah,
They ain't been the
Tyronn
same
Lue,
since Phil.
Tyronn Lue is decent. I
Tyronn
think,
Lue is-
yeah.
okay, fine, but because he works. Him and LeBron work well together. I think LeBron figured that out. But yeah, I mean, this is the Zen Master. Like, you know, you
Yeah,
go to the
no,
Zen
no,
Master
yeah,
to,
no,
like,
no, yeah, you
anybody,
can't.
It's gonna be hard to be like,
Nah, yeah, no.
nobody's the same. You know? So,
Of course, of course. Let's go over to the other LA basketball team because we haven't really talked about them, and they just got John Wall, who's looking pretty excellent. They also got the return of Kawhi Leonard, and then Paul George is still gonna be Paul George out there, and I just want to talk about who you guys see just kind of taking over for that team, and what do you think they need in order for them to be a successful championship team? Let's start off with you, Manny. I know you want to get into this conversation. How do you feel about the Clippers, bro?
The Clippers, they show promise. They got a really solid squad. I think overall they could be successful with the tools they got. I don't know. I don't really know what their record's looking like right now.
They're 12-9 right now. They're 12-9. They're like the 9th seed in essence if playoffs started today.
9th seed, 12-9.
12-9. It's been honestly like right now the Suns are first. They're like 16-8 or 16-9. There's really no dominant team this year.
Right, I was just gonna say, I was like, to be in the 9th seed, that just shows that entire conference has got success brewing, really, and all what would be the other 8 seeds.
Yeah,
because I'm sure not everyone, not a single team is undefeated.
No, yeah.
Which shows just, I don't know how tough that conference is, especially if they're kind of being as successful, as they are. With that, I don't know. I think what it comes down to, they're kind of turning over a new leaf as far as how well they're playing. I mean, they lost that a tough one just tonight to Atlanta.
Yeah,
but
that's
I
true.
think all in all, they're just showing success in the game. They're playing some really good teams. It's not like anyone that they're playing against is it's not like
Murray delivered right on time to Jokic. Jokic, by the way, coming off a 39-point performance in that win over Oklahoma City. Wall knocks it down. Wall plays over to Morris. Bluffs the three. Drives into the paint. Bluffs the 15-footer. Powell is alone in the corner.
To see, I just think all in all, that conference in general, including especially the Clippers, there's a lot to battle for. And I could definitely see them, I personally think I could see them ruining someone's playoff hope, whether that's in the play-in, whether they do secure that 8 seed, when it comes down to it towards the end of the season. And, they could really develop well throughout the course of the season.
No doubt, no doubt. What about you, Double A? How you feeling about these Clippers?
Man, can this Clippers team stay healthy? They're always injured. Why? It's like Kawhi Leonard's out, and then Paul George is out, and then, I mean.
But I mean, but from that, I will say guys like Terrence Mann kind of definitely stepped up, you know, made a name for himself. So I can't say it's definitely a blessing in disguise. You know what I mean?
Hey, those guys have stepped up, and they're gonna need to step up until Paul George and Kawhi Leonard and all these guys can get healthy, because they're gonna need them in the playoffs. You know, if they're not healthy, man, this is another play-in team. LA is gonna be living off the play-in, because you know what I mean. They can't. None of these teams can stay healthy. But
right.
If you know, Paul George, John Wall, and Kawhi, I know they're managing his minutes and everything. If they can do what they do, this team can go. They can go really far. They play really good defense. They make clutch shots. You know what I mean? They got, what's his name, Terrence Mann there. That plays really well too.
Zubac had a 30-point game the other day, which was pretty crazy.
Yep, he had a 31-point game, and if these guys these guys can be their old self, you know what I mean? This team can go far. They got the defense, you know what I mean? They can shut down the Golden State and Nuggets, you know what I mean? Because they're big and they're long. So if, like I said again, if they can stay healthy, this can be a team that you can fear in the playoffs. Like, you don't want to play this team, you know what I mean?
Could you see them winning a championship?
They need Kawhi.
All right.
If Kawhi plays, they can win a championship, hands down. But if Kawhi is not on that floor, they're probably, they'll get out the first round, but that's pretty much it.
All right. What about you, B? How you feeling about these LA Clippers?
Yeah, man, it's frustrating because I'm a big Kawhi fan. I'm like, he's one of my favorite players. And it's just tough, man, because I want to see him on the court. Like, just as a fan of the game, like, I just want to see the man play. Like, because he brings something to the court. There's something about, like, the atmosphere changes when that man steps on the court, because everybody know he about his business. And especially playoff ball is different. Like, when you have the Clippers, when you have Kawhi just in playoff mode, everybody's at the edge of the seat, because everybody wants to see him do his thing, and the man go out there and he balls out. Like, it's crazy. And it is, like, you know, to what Aaron said, like, he's the difference of a championship.
Yeah.
And there's not a lot of players like that. I mean, there are, but, like, he's really one of them where if he's in there, they can make it all the way just with him. He proved it with Toronto. He's impact with the Spurs. Like, he's a difference maker. All in all, he literally changes that team from being like, okay, here come the Clippers, you know, first round maybe pass, second round bounce. And that's, you know, Paul George is good, but he ain't no Kawhi.
Right.
And if he's there, they definitely can make the run. They definitely can, and they do so good together. Like, Kawhi and Paul George play really well off each other. Kawhi scores comfortably, and it takes pressure off Paul George to sit deep. If you got to sit deep, if you got to drive, he can drive. They're just really good. So if they can get it healthy, man, yeah, this could be a team to watch out for, because they're gonna sneak in there, and nobody gonna pay attention. But man, Kawhi, like I said, Kawhi on that in playoff games, he a different beast, bro. Like, you better watch out. That man can take them all the way.
No doubt, man. I'm for the Clippers going. I think they're gonna win the championship. I could see it happening. There really isn't a defensive mentality. Like, I feel like they're defensive first. Like that I think that's their mentality as a team, and I feel like there really isn't a defensive driven team on the West per se. And I feel like that's going to be the key factor for them to go to the championship. I think they could slow down teams like the Warriors. They could slow down teams like the Pelicans. Pelicans are pretty defensive, but I think that comes with experience that they'll lose that game. But I think there's just I think they're kind of getting the ball rolling. I mean, the record doesn't show that they're dominant quite yet, but the guys are still trying to get that chemistry back together that they had back in 2020 or 2019 or so. And I feel like Kawhi, he's trying to get his legs back together, and Paul George is still trying to be the Paul George that we know of, that playoff P mentality. And that bench is just going to keep rolling. I mean, again, I said Zubac had 31 points the other day. Guys like that are definitely showing out, and it's helping carry off the load for Kawhi and Paul George. And Terrence Mann's going to do his thing, and I'm excited to see it, man. I'm definitely excited to see it. And at the end of the day, Tyronn Lue's always going to be prepared.
Exactly. It's literally who I was just going to say.
Mm-hmm.
He's such a player coach.
Yeah.
He plays so good around him. Like, he's a good coach.
Mm-hmm.
Like everybody was saying it was LeBron.
Mm-hmm.
You couldn't really, judge him because he was
It's-
LeBron and Kyrie
yeah.
and won a championship. But he is such a good
He
player.
is underrated.
Super underrated.
Yeah.
And I think he does really well for these guys because of that. Because you want to know what Kawhi wants to do, And Kawhi's, from the outside in, we see him, and he's very personal and to himself. But maybe in the locker room he's different, and maybe he's more vocal and amongst them. And Lou's wanted them to be like, "What you trying to do? What do you want? What works for you? What helps you?" Like, he builds that chemistry and helps that chemistry get really sticks them together.
It's crazy. I mean, for them to get to the Western Conference Finals without Kawhi and Paul George and still kind of battle that shows a lot on Tyronn Lue. I mean, that was a crazy playoff series just because they were that close to go to the finals without those guys, and I was pretty impressed with that.
Even having Kawhi come back.
Yeah.
They were close. I think
Yeah.
he missed two.
Yeah.
He missed a free throws, and that could have been the difference
Right.
maker.
That's Kawhi's difference. Kawhi there,
Mhm.
they're
And he's the clutch guy. He's the most clutch player.
Player. He's the defensive. He's the defensive anchor. He plays both sides of the ball. And he can create his own offense. He don't need to have Paul George. To me, he can, but to me, Paul George is way better as an off-ball guy, and that's why they work really good. Because Kawhi creates, and if Paul George is open, he kicks and he shoots. Like, they work really well. So that's all, man. Just get Kawhi, and Kawhi needs.
Yeah, Kawhi. He'll get it going.
I'm really looking forward to this playoffs this year. Cause,
I do too.
I miss Kawhi playoffs. Like, he's just
I do too. I think, and it's the same story, same notion. Everyone sleeps on Kawhi, and once the playoffs come, that Terminator just start rolling. Yeah. Right.
Buzzers getting hit on. Hey, man, Kawhi, different story, bro.
All right, man. Let's go wrap up. Let's go wrap up our NBA talks. There is some big news going on right now about soccer with Messi coming. One, I want to give a shout out for Messi beating Mexico because that was crazy. The man literally put the team on his back for that with Argentina because they were on the brink of leaving. That second goal was nasty.
Goal is so dirty, and we just all look at that Messi because everybody knows Messi, but that second goal was disgusting.
Yeah, bro.
He tried to hit him with the fake. Kicked it to himself,
dude.
Curved it into it with his right foot.
I was on the edge of my seat when because it's just the fact that this man literally, you could see the passion he had when he scored that goal. I mean, I had never seen it's like the story that built it. It's crazy when you see the scenarios these players go to and to succeed it and then make it reality is just crazy because everyone at the end of the day is gonna question, well, Messi's never had a World Cup championship, he's never been this and that, and at the brink of elimination this man goes out there and scores a goal to put them on top, and you could tell they were playing sloppy. That's what killed me the most. But yeah, man, big story.
Nobody's still too safe, man. We got
dude. Tomorrow,
tomorrow's busy day. I'm about to be on the couch all day just watching.
Dude, it's a big game for USA. I don't know if you guys know the scenario, but they have to win. They have to win.
They will.
I don't know, man. I want them to win. Don't get me wrong. I just know Iran has a lot to play for, especially since they protested. They know going back to their country, it's a lot on the line, and I think it's gonna be Iran. Sorry, I apologize.
I mean, did you hear the reporter yell at
no, I didn't.
a reporter was asking our fearless leader of Team USA, you know, basically asking him questions on like social issues, which is crazy because um Iran's having so many social
Yeah.
issues like what the hell we do. But yeah, bro, he pretty much he checked them on how to say Iran, and like that pit, like he's like, well, first off, it's not Iran, it's Iran, which again,
Yeah, as you
get it,
should.
but
Hey,
like
as you should. That's
yeah,
fair.
okay, but he came off as a dick. Like you would understand, like, hey, I know you don't really know, so I'm gonna just correct you. He
Right.
came with some attitude and then started, talking about the U.S. and it was getting a little nasty. And I was like, oh, this bad guy. And give it to the captain because he answered everything correctly, everything smoothly, didn't have really no attitude back. Gave him a respectable answer.
Mhm.
But yeah, man, it's crazy, man. It's crazy what's going on over there.
It is,
With
man.
protests and everything.
This is definitely gonna be a 30 for 30, bro. To see what Iran's going through and then protesting, and now they're at the brink of going to the next stage, and they're playing against USA, which is like, it's just I don't know. It's an interesting story, which is why for me, like, I want USA to win, but I know at the end of the day, if Iran does win, like, I'm not completely.
You're not
Don't
bitter
get me
or
wrong. I'm
angry.
devastated, but I feel like Iran. That's a great story in itself. Like I wouldn't mind seeing the continuation of that story continue because that's just
Well, the biggest thing for me, right, the soccer thing is to me, it's USA even being in the World Cup is a big thing because they were
Yeah.
not in it. And
Yeah.
So just them being there is like great. Like we're here, we're back. And
Yeah.
that should be more than enough for fans to be like, damn, we got to see USA in the World Cup
Make
on
a
the big
goal.
stage with them all.
Yeah.
Like it's cool, man. Like
Yeah.
it's we're again, it's trying to makes football relevant in the States, and this is your way of doing it. This is how you get that relevancy here.
With
And
the World
obviously,
Cup coming back here too soon. Yeah.
yeah, and especially with the World Cup coming this way, and obviously what you're gonna go forward with, which is the Messi and that massive contract he was offered by Inter Miami.
Yeah, man.
That's crazy.
It is,
Yeah.
bro. Messi going to Inter Miami's kind of what is looking to happen, bro. They're talking about him getting one of the biggest contracts in MLS history, more than what the successor of who owns the team, David Beckham, is willing to give him. And I think that's definitely interesting how it comes into play. How great Messi is, and for him to go to the freaking just to even be thought about going to the MLS is pretty crazy. And I know we had a discussion before about how possibly the MLS could be a little bit better than the MLB, and this might be the start of it even more, or at least that turning point. I know we kind of discussed it on, maybe it's the baseball game, the pace of it's what's slowing it down, and how soccer's kind of a little bit of a faster pace. But now that Messi's coming here, man, I feel like every MLS game he plays is going to be sold out. Like all eyes are going to be on that game, and a lot of people are going to watch MLS now.
Yeah, for sure.
How do you guys feel about that? Let's start with you, B.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it'll. Again, this is a big thing. Was like, baseball's still in the mix of everything. It's still a big sport in the country.
Mm-hmm.
So will it, with Messi coming here, will it overtake baseball like right away? Like, will it make them the next? No, I don't think so. I think for football fanatics, people that watch football more than they watch baseball, this will definitely make that push for them.
Mm-hmm.
This will definitely get more eyes on the sport. So I think this would be amazing for MLS and the sport of football in the States. And who knows? Because if Messi comes here, who knows if Ronaldo
who's offered Saudi Arabia, yeah.
He got offered Saudi, but who knows if somebody from MLS goes, hey, we can offer you to come this way too.
Mm-hmm.
We get Messi and Ronaldo, like kind of outside of their prime, but still dominant players. Like it don't matter, like Messi, Ronaldo. If you can get both of them here, that'll definitely make a nice little shift,
right?
In terms of us for the sport, it'll definitely bring eyes on American soccer and just it'll bring attention here, which is what we want and what everybody wants for soccer and for football here. But will it overtake baseball still? I don't think so. Not right away. Again, it's got to be somewhere down the roads, because a lot of people that are having kids now don't want their kids to get hurt and don't want their kids to
Mm-hmm.
contact with football, and kids are really not patient to learn a game like baseball. So a lot of younger parents now are putting their kids in soccer because they're just like, yeah, go get your energy out, go
And
run.
it's also played all year round. I mean, you got indoor soccer too. You know, it's a lot
That's
of
true. I mean, there's no off season for soccer,
yeah,
which is
yeah,
crazy.
yeah.
But with that being said, again, this would help it, but will it overtake baseball? Still, I don't. Nah, not yet. Not even close.
Fair enough. What about you, Manny? I know you're a big baseball guy, man, and seeing Messi possibly come to MLS. How do you feel about this, man?
First off, I gotta say, Iran, we gonna run y'all off the side. Of the Iran, we gonna Iran you off the side of the tomorrow. Okay, that's all I gotta say. No disrespect. Nah, as far as Messi coming, I think that's gonna be super cool. I just don't know how much attention it'll gravitate, from baseball, simply because, like what we talked about and how I mentioned it last time, baseball is America's pastime, so
Right.
that's going to be more sought out than the MLS is. But what I think it is going to do, I think with Messi coming to the MLS, it's going to bring more TV viewership.
Yeah.
So you might see the dynamic change as far as who's watching, like television wise, who's gonna watch these games, and I think I don't know, maybe next year, then I'm probably gonna be looking into watching MLS games simply because of a name like Messi. Not to
Mhm.
say that I've never. Well, I can't say that I've never followed MLS soccer. I've only known of the Premier League, and
Mhm.
that's where a majority of the superstars are from. But to hear, oh, I mean, like the last time I didn't necessarily follow, but I know Brandon had told me that Ibrahimovic was coming to LA
Yeah.
Galaxy, and I was like, oh, really? I was like, you talking about him? I like, that's pretty cool, and him coming and dominating and then kind of leaving. I don't know. I just think, yeah, I think due time, and I would hope that for the MLS in the future, they could attract them more
Mhm.
at like a more prime age. I mean, a
Yeah.
lot of us know that. I mean, the Premier League is the Premier League. That's
Yeah.
the highest level of club soccer.
La Liga
Um,
too. La Liga's pretty crazy too.
right, exactly. La Liga too. Yeah. So it's like you have, and then like I feel like, and then MLS is like right there.
Mhm.
It's not far off, but it's like right there. Um, I just think overall though, Messi's success in in Miami is going to be really cool to see. It's like I said, it's going to bring a lot of TV viewership. I don't think it'll take too much attention away from baseball,
Mhm.
but
Well, I will say
I think
the
I think
ML.
it'll be a battle. I
Yeah,
think
I was gonna
it'll
say
be a
that,
battle.
cause
Um,
you got to think about it. Like the MLS championship was, um, around the time the World Series. I mean, there was literally the World Series and MLS championship are right there,
right.
damn near the same day. And then you got football and basketball kind of in that mix too. So it's gonna be interesting who gets most of that viewership in America.
Right. I just think one of the things I was thinking of was like, so this is, and I find this funny because I saw it on my Facebook page, and there was a guy I grew up playing baseball with, and he was like, "Dang, watching soccer for 90 minutes straight and no one
Yeah.
scoring, that's tough." And I was like, yeah, I was like, I think the reality is anybody that watches a sport that, like, if you're not watching basketball or football, these are games that consist of continual scoring. As an athlete, or as just a norm, I mean, personally, as a normal person, you're just not going to be interested in watching it. Not a lot of people are interested in watching golf. Not a lot of people
Hmm.
are interested in watching hockey. Not a lot of people are interested in watching
Boxing could be
baseball.
boring too
Right?
sometimes.
Boxing, UFC. You have you kind of have like a general circle of
Hmm.
sports that require time and attention, and the interest doesn't come from viewership. It comes from the knowledge of the game.
That's
It
fair.
comes from a history of playing the game. And then I mean, and another spin-off is like if you liked playing the video game,
Yeah.
like playing FIFA was fun. I didn't play FIFA until I was in college,
Mm.
and I found out how much more fun it was to kind of be interested in soccer and things like that. Granted, I went to a CPS school that was filled with kids that loved to play soccer. I didn't care at the time
Mhm.
because I liked playing football and I like playing basketball and baseball and things like that. So, it's definitely gonna attract. It's gonna attract the mainstream crowd for those that love soccer overall. But a
Yeah.
big name like Messi is gonna be a game changer.
No doubt, no doubt. What about you, Double A? I know, I haven't really heard you much on soccer, bro. I don't know how much of a fan you are with soccer, but I know you heard the name Messi, bro, and I was just curious. Are you gonna flip over the Mets game to go watch Messi play or what?
Look, I know who Messi is and Ronaldo and all these guys are. Looking from the outside in, because I only watch a little bit here and there, especially when USA's in it.
Yeah.
That's what I'm really into it.
Mhm.
But I think it's gonna take a lot more than just Messi to get some attention here because
Okay.
this move only brings in really diehard fans. Okay,
Okay.
really diehard fans that loves the World Cup, that loves Messi. Be like, wow, Messi's with the MLS. But for a fan like me, I'm gonna be like, oh, okay, you know what I mean? It's gonna
Right.
take it's gonna take a lot of um influencers like guys like LeBron or guys like that to kind of pull for this game like MLS because we already USA is already it's football, it's already
Yeah.
basketball,
Yeah. Yeah.
so MLS is really behind. And then you have the World Cup. You know what I mean? Not only that, USA is not one of the best soccer like teams or players that not many great players come from USA. They come from all around the world. You know what I mean? So it's really gonna take a lot, probably maybe 50 years before it might start to gain momentum with
Mhm.
a lot of influencers outside pulling for this game. You know what I mean? A lot of guys like recognizable names to bring more attention to this league.
No doubt, no doubt. I mean, I will say it definitely will bring viewership. I know a lot of people will be curious to see how much more MLS will evolve. I mean,
I just need
I
to bring Ronaldo.
no,
That's all I
yeah,
need.
no,
Bring my boy
dude.
Cristiano.
The thing is,
I'm moving wherever he go to.
I feel like and I feel like we always bring up the notion like yeah, like these guys are coming when they're getting old and in their prime, but I will say there are a lot of younger MLS guys that get no shine. Like Carlos Vela's
True.
one on
True.
LAFC, and he could have played for Team Mexico, he didn't. But there are guys like that that get no shine because it's that notion, oh, they play in MLS, so they can't be that good.
Yeah.
But I think
Nobody's not taking serious.
yeah,
Right.
but I think because Messi and Ronaldo, if Messi and Ronaldo, would be a great plus, goes there, people will start to see that and be like, oh, actually, there are some good players in MLS. So I mean, that's kind of what I think kind of holds them back, and I feel like people will wake up a little bit more and see it. The progress these players are making, and with the World Cup coming to America and LA,
You know what? I think would be crazy, and I think would help is if, obviously these teams, these conferences, these leagues have like 10, 12 teams. If they were to do something where you want MLS to get like the view or MLS to get it looked at, if they were to either do it where one season or a couple games where they go out there and play in these leagues where they're
yeah,
like
that's
on the
true.
bottom tier, the bottom half, not even the
They
top
they
half.
uh
You're not gonna
they
be putting them against
Yeah.
Arsenal or
No,
Leicester
well
or
they
Man
do have
United.
the UEFA Cup, which is like
Mhm.
it's clubs all over Europe, Asia, and
So yeah,
but they
for
don't have
example,
MLS teams, so I get what you're
but
saying, yeah.
exactly. But if MLS wanted to be serious, they would go to these leagues, La Liga, Premier League, any of these leagues to be like, yo, look, is there any way where we can throw a tournament where
Mhm.
we can do your bottom half teams, not even your top half, not or even we throw one top half team, but the lower ones of your top half. Let's say we throw in, no disrespect, because I'm not trying to say these teams are bottom half, but like, let's say we go out and we go get Arsenal, right?
Arsenal's they've been kind of rough lately.
Manchester City was been good. They're pretty much all good. At the end of the day, they would be dominant in these tournaments. But if you were to go like, hey, let's go get Manchester City and let's go get a couple of these lower tier, or even you do go the bottom half of those teams, because there's like 20 teams in these leagues, or like even 15, and you go, hey, we'll do our top 10 versus our 5 versus your 5, and we do a tournament during the spring or during the summer. Dude, that would easily be like, that would grab UK watchers to be
that's true. But
MLS,
I will say though, I mean, like, the thing is, they are doing like a tournament, but it's only North America. Like, they do have a goal. Yeah, no, I feel you. They should expand a little bit more with UEFA. I don't know how the regulations work there, but
with Mexico teams,
they do that. No, they're trying to do like a UEFA for North America. So it's like, you have LAFC against like America, or like the Chicago Fire against the Chivas. Like, they have that. It just hasn't been big.
They should do it with Mexico and Canada. Like, just get both countries and just throw a big tournament once a year, and just like,
they're trying to get that,
for the exposure piece, because that's what you want. And then you get serious and you go, hey, we're gonna do all these teams, but hey, UK, you bring one.
Yeah, I feel you.
One English Premier team.
I feel you.
Whatever. Hey, La Liga, give me one team. It don't matter what team, just bring me one. And that could be it. And that could be put them in the stakes. If these teams win, they get relegated.
I think they should just do like a World Cup just with all clubs though. Like, that would be even dope. Just a World Cup of clubs, like just clubs all over the world.
Just be North America, like World Cup or something like that.
Well, no, just do all over the. Why not? Like, the same regulations like in World Cup. Like, you have to win these certain amount of games, and
it's crazy, right? But they kind of do with the Premier League. Like, that's pretty much what that is. It's like all the top teams from all the clubs, but from all different kind of leagues. It's just MLS isn't in there, and neither is like just North America, whether it's Canada, Mexico, and us. We're like not even part of that, but they have that over there. Premier League, you get that. You get Juventus versus PSG.
That's no UEFA. You're talking about UEFA, yeah.
No, that's
right.
Or not Premier, but
La Liga. So it's. Go ahead.
It's La Liga. Premier is English, but like there is they do that already.
Yeah, it's the UEFA Cup. It's the UEFA Champions League. Yeah, UEFA Champions League. Yeah.
Champions League. That's what it is. So the Champions League is pretty much that already. Like, they do that. So it's like, it would be a thing to be like, would they should, the Champions League and them, they should open the door and be like, hey, give us your best MLS team.
Yeah, I feel you.
The team that wins the championship, which would be LAFC, they should be in that. Not anybody else, just them. Like, just
that's fair.
To then make that MLS Cup bigger than what it is. Not only are you going to win, you would get an invitation to play against the best.
Yeah, that would be dope, bro.
Oh, that'd be crazy.
That would be. They probably. I mean, now that, like I said, now that Messi could possibly go to MLS, that is a very good.
Let's create that email. Let's send the documentation to UEFA, and then we'll just, hey, FIFA, just want to slide this into your front door, into your mailbox, Let me slide in them DMs. I got a great idea.
I want to let you know that you're doing something wrong. We have the
answer. All right, man. Let's end it off here. I know we got some college football. I just want to ask you guys which college football game you guys are gonna be watching. We got some college football conference championship games going. I know the top 4 teams right now are Georgia, Michigan, TCU, and USC. Georgia's going to be facing LSU, which is going to be an interesting game. Then you got good old Michigan against Purdue, which is going to be interesting. Then after that, you have TCU against Kansas State. That's going to be a lot of purple on that game, but hey, I might watch it. Why not? And then you got USC, who is playing Utah. USC actually has their only loss against Utah, which, interesting enough, that might be, crazy to see. Who knows what goes on with that? I just want to ask you guys who you guys think If there was an upset to happen, what game you guys would think per se could affect this top 4 standings that we have here in college? I'll start off with you, Double A. I know you're a big Georgia fan. I know you're gonna watch that Georgia game.
Watching Georgia, baby.
But you, but
we gonna take it off.
I know you think Georgia. So you don't think Georgia's gonna lose at all? You think this is.
They're running the table, man. They're just a better team, but great defense and what's his name? Stetson Bennett can't be stopped on the offensive side. They just great all around. I can't see any of these teams match up well with the Bulldogs. Now it's surprising USC, man. That they really surprised me this year.
I will say that, yeah.
Yeah.
That was pretty surprising.
I would say they could face Georgia in the national championship game. So I keep an eye on them. They don't have a great defense, but their offense, they can definitely score some points on the offensive side of the ball.
I mean, they do have that Heisman nominee Caleb Williams over there, kind of really throwing the ball, which I'm trying to use now. But he's definitely taking over for USC, bro. What about you, Manny? I know you're a big Michigan fan, bro. How you feeling about these Michigan? Hey, there he is. I know how you feeling about these Michigan Wolverines, bro.
How did you know?
You think Michigan has a shot to win the title this year, bro?
I think Michigan is gonna choke. No,
all right.
No, hot take. No, I'm just playing.
And where his head just shitted on his team. Wrong with you.
No, I think we got the team. We got the team that could take it all the way this year. And possibly get us to the Natty. I think McCarthy under center is showing promise. Our offensive weapons are just dominant in all aspects of the game, as well as our defense. We faced the Ohio State team that got the ass whooping.
Hey, man, that hurts, bro.
That
hurts.
No, that was a great game, and that was was all the way to the wire, man. Actually the last 2 minutes.
It was
all
the
the way
wire,
to
and then it blew up.
No, for real.
Out of nowhere, they went up
defense
like
was just
by
like,
3 scores.
Done. We're just defense.
Yeah.
Like, you know what? I'm tired of playing defense.
Do you see? I know you're a big college guy. Do you see anybody out of these conference championships that might not be top 4 because of this? These games going in.
I don't think TCU should be in the running.
Okay.
Something me and my brother always talk about, and it's the strength of schedule.
Mm-hmm.
You have schools like
Bama could still. I mean, they have 2 losses, but
no. Bama can sit their ass at home. Bama go watch the playoffs.
Go watch that shit from the guys. They won enough.
Bama got their ass whooped this year. Yeah, no excuse.
I know Aaron doesn't want Bama in there.
I don't want Bama. I don't think anybody wants Bama in there. They can kick rocks.
Go ahead. How you feel about Bama? I know you as a Georgia fan. How you feel about Bama, Aaron?
I mean, they're not the same team, man. They trash, man. You saw what we did to them, man. Like, come on, man. They're nowhere near the top 14.
No doubt. What about you, B? I know you. The